Alright, welcome everyone. Hope you're all having a great day, wherever or whenever you happen to be. Today is the long-awaited by approximately 3 people tier list update for 2026. The moment we have been waiting for. Yes, hello Sphero, good to see you. Hey Valerius as well, very good to see you as well. And yes, this is the fated tier list of 2026. Thank you very much for the follow. I wish my alerts actually worked, but there you go. Thank you very much, Diego. It's good to see you as well. But yes, hello everyone. I hope you're all doing well. And I hope you're all ready to have civil fighting game discussions, because this is, of course, possible in the modern day. At least we do our best. All of the uncivil discussion happens behind closed doors where we can't see it, and we have useful discussions here, which is always nice. So the main focus of today will be discussing some updates. So hasn't been an incredibly busy year, but stuff has still happened. I still think there is reason for change. You just want to see the Yukiko placement? Well, it depends which Yukiko you're talking about, but you might be waiting a long time for normal Yukiko. But for Shadow, maybe not too long. I will be going from the top down as usual. The format hasn't changed. I will skip all of the introductions of myself, which I did last year. Those still exist in the slides, but I've removed them because we don't need it. I think if you give me a follow, you should be able to do the Lab Yay by yourself anyway. The Aura 2 Yay, I think, is a follower emote. So you might be able to use that. But yes, without further ado, we will get started, and I think I will change the music to something a little bit more fitting. We will use the Persona 4 studying music, and do let me know if the audio levels are good. I think that might be a bit loud. Turn it down a bit. Alright, your emotes are better. Alright. Okay, so let's get started. In fact, actually, first things first, do we like this view, or are you ready for this? Hey Toss, good to see you as well. It's been a while. Do we like this view, or do we like this view, where we have the full screen, but I might be in the way of stuff? What do people think? Do we like the big? We like the cat. I mean, yeah, I like the cat as well. But do we like the full screen, or do we like the small? We like this. There's one vote. Hey Boobus, good. Gatito. Yes, it is a gatito. I'm very happy with that stinger. That transition, but it sounds like people like this one, so maybe we'll go with this one, in which case I need to interact with the slides, so I will do that. Where's Rise on here? I don't think Rise's changed, so if you know what my list looks like already, no changes. But yes, we will go top 5, no, but we will get going in our usual way. So first things first, about me. I think it's me. It's big me. Yes. Like I said, I've skipped most of the section, but here's just a brief introduction of me. I am a Persona player. I have been playing since vanilla. I have a cat VTuber model. I am a cat. Sadly, I can't see overheads. Those glasses are real, by the way. I do actually wear glasses, and unfortunately, I'm British. What a terrible turn of events. But yes, Naoto bottom 1. Yes, clearly I'm doing an upside down tier list. So just looking at stuff since last year that I've done. So I've had multiple top 8 finishes. Now that I'm a little bit older, I am taking part less in tournaments just because my old body can't take playing Persona at 1 AM and getting hyped and then not being able to sleep until like 4 in the morning. So sadly, not taking part too much anymore, but still here and there in the big ones. You almost forgot who I am. Yeah, you never know. Can Aigis finally stop being downplayed and be considered a top tier? You'll see on my list. It's not a surprise. I don't think she's majorly changed, although maybe slight increase. I can't remember. We'll see. So yeah, top 4th in TNS. I wasn't too sad about that one. And in TNS, actually, I did manage to take a game from Flood. Which I am quite proud of, especially given that matchup. And managed to take the match from Side X as well, which is a Shadow Yukiko, so I'm quite happy with that as a result. Multiple positive sets versus some big names, so RDG, the Naoto player, Hero, Swamp Puppy, J-Turns, CZ, Karma, well, Karma I went even with, but honestly, I'm happy going even. I was the captain in the Shab versus Labrys battle, although it's questionable as to whether I should have been. Maybe it should have been Gyokugen. But I did win the final match versus Killer Kitty, which was the decider. We were both scrambling a little bit, but I'm still happy. The Labrys guide has been completed, including a full matchup section for all characters. So that is now considered complete. And I mean, that's open to everyone as well. If you want to know how Labrys punishes things or how she approaches matchups, you are free to look it up. I'm quite happy with that section of the guide. And also, yeah, 22.5k channel views. Not the biggest content creator out there, but you know, I'll take it. Not too small. I'd like to think that I am a known entity in the Persona community. So, no matter, I did some things last year. I'm pretty happy with it. I'm still enjoying the game. So we keep going. And for some fun, I included some other stuff that I did last year to prove that I am actually a gamer. J-Turn still considered a top player. Hey, no doing stuff to other people, please. Be kind, be considerate. Depth 4 in Elden Ring Night Rain, to those who play Night Rain. I feel like that's quite a nice achievement, getting up there. Arcadian Cruiserweight Savage in Final Fantasy XIV, so that's top end raiding in Final Fantasy XIV. I was quite proud of that after I've not been raiding for like 5 years now. I think I took a break. All bosses in Hollow Knight Silksong, effectively 100% in Silksong. It's not the biggest brag, but you know, some people found it hard. And yeah, Ritualist and Climbing in Deadlock. Sorry, my logo's in the way. Maybe I need to move my logo. But yes, Deadlock is something I picked up recently, and I'm still climbing in Deadlock, getting back on the MOBA grind. I was a master/grandmaster in Heroes of the Storm. But yeah, having some fun with that as well. So that's just some fun background. So yes, we dive straight into it. Very short intro this year, because hopefully you can go and watch last year's if you care about that sort of thing. And yeah, thank you very much for the watch streak, KG. I appreciate it. It's proven depth 4 makes the Yukari matchup easier. Yeah, she is pretty much a Souls boss, especially when you're playing Labrys. Yeah, very true, very true. Anyway, yes, tier list explanation. Again, was fully explained last year, but I will do it very briefly again, just in case people didn't catch that one. So the Untouchable tier, this basically means you're in your own zone. You are playing fundamentally a different game to everyone else in this tier list. You might guess who that might be in this game, but effectively, you are the one setting the meta. If you cannot deal with these characters, you are in trouble, because if someone comes along with this character, you have to play your heart out to even stand a chance. I think these characters are broken by most definitions. But yeah, that's basically the Untouchable tier. Competitive tier basically means you are not sad to be playing this character. You are not being held back effectively. You have lots of tools at your disposal. You have ways to open people up without having to really get into someone's head. You have enough tools that you're not lacking for stuff. You're on par. You're not quite in the Untouchable tier, but you know, you can do what you need to do effectively. Put quite poorly, but there we go. Strong but outclassed tier is basically the same as competitive, but for the type of character you're playing, there are better options available. You're not in trouble by playing one of these characters, but you're not doing yourself a service by doing so either. Not too many there, but you know. Marge placement changed this year? Correct, Marge has been moved. Spoilers. But who knows which direction, right? Can be made to work tier is, I think, has my background music disappeared? It has. Let's do this one. Okay. Hey Luke, good to see you. Glad you made it. Marge to will struggle? Maybe. Maybe. But yeah, okay. Can't be made to work tier, like I said. You're in trouble, effectively, if you come up against some of the stronger characters. With a very strong player, and if your opponent doesn't know the matchup, can do decently. Can get things done, especially if you're outplaying your opponent, but you need to be outplaying your opponent for this character to really pop off effectively. And that's pretty much the can be made to work tier, and the will struggle tier is pretty much self-explanatory. You are in serious trouble if you come up against someone in the untouchable tier, and in general you don't have many favourable matchups, if at all. You don't really want to be playing these characters, but the be-all and end-all is, in this game, most of the time the stronger player will win. I do like this game. I do think it is mostly balanced. I'm not saying anyone in the will struggle tier cannot play the game. They will still be able to play, well, for the most part. Against someone playing an untouchable tier, playing it perfectly, you might not be able to play the game. But, you know, I'm not saying anyone who does really well with a character in that tier is necessarily a god. I'm not saying anyone who does it in untouchable tier is carried either. I am not attempting to throw disrespect to anyone. I think this game is fun. I think it is mostly balanced for the most part. So yeah, this is the game. Yeah, that's it. Let's go up. Also, the grading system. So this system exists. I have graded everyone in these areas. Like I said, I have discussed this before, but to briefly go over each area. Defense mostly covers defensive tools. I'm carried for playing Labrys, yeah, that sounds about right. Rigged and balanced, yeah. That does sound about right in this game. Everyone is broken, so nobody's broken. So yeah, defense basically means what defensive supers do you have? What, how dangerous is it to press your buttons, your DPs? Do you have good movement to get out of trouble? Do you have options against people who try to bait your DP? How scary are you when someone just attacks into you, that sort of thing. Neutral basically covers how much of a screen presence you have, what threats do you have, what do those threats convert into. Basically, in a neutral situation, is someone scared of you? Pressure, similar situation, but if you've already got that first touch on someone and force them to start blocking, do you have ways to open people up? Are people forced to resort to DPs or OMCs or guard cancels to get out? Are they actually in danger if they start blocking you? We say it's broken and they break at combos. Maybe. Yeah, that's pressure. Conversion, effectively, once you get that first hit, how much do you have to spend to kill someone? Do you have to spend anything at all? Can you convert from some of your better mix? Simple as that, really. And finally, a tooling, which is effectively, do you have the tools to deal with the untouchable tier? So that's very specific and very much about the meta. Can you deal with the current meta is pretty much what I mean by tooling. So do you have ways to deal with someone firing arrows at you full screen? Can you punish them for that? You have a way out of Magarula. Do you have threats that mean that someone can't just shoot a gun at you full screen? You know. And yeah, that's pretty much it. They do actually have letter grades, which I've converted to numbers in the datasheet, which will be in the VoD of this. There is always someone at the minimum and maximum of each area, in each category. But yeah, those will show up in each of the slides. So before we... Very general explanation, yeah. Yeah, that's it. Let's get into it. Untouchable tier starts with... Anyone have a guess as to who is at the top of the untouchable tier before we start? I wonder, does anyone know? s.Aigis, Labrys, s.Rise. I wonder. Really far reach. Yukari. This is why you're the GOAT, Luke. This is why you're the GOAT. It is Yukari. Welcome to Yukari. Yukari has not moved, so I will also put on the laser pointer. Love laser pointers. Wow. My cat, I love laser pointers. Teddie, no, not quite. Anyway, so this sign determines how someone has moved since last year. Yukari has not changed position since last year. If anyone has any questions, please do feel free to ask as I go. It's not Joker. Welcome, Drowmy. No, sadly, Joker has not been added to the game yet. I'm sure he would be top, but yeah, not yet. But yes, nothing has changed in my mind with regards to this character. Character fundamentally breaks the nature of risk reward in this game. To do damage and to get full combos, she gets to do that from really far away. she gets to do that without any real risk to herself. Her neutral leads into pretty much full screen 3K at least off of a lot of stuff. It's kind of broken. I mean, yeah, it's ridiculous the amount of screen presence she has. You're never safe. You can deal with some of her specials by rolling through them, but those are very specific, and there is very little reason for a Yukari player to do that. Yeah, genuine full screen presence. It's insane. It is absolutely insane. Access to some of the best air tools in movement. So yes, incredibly fast movement. And yeah, it is some of the fastest movement in the game. She has both double jumps and super jumps, which are very fast, and she has extra air movement, so you can't really anti-air her. And then her air to ground arrows also aren't head attribute, so you can't 2B her. Unless you're actually already hitting her, but those air normals are also very fast and don't have to be anywhere near you, is the point. Luke says the point about counterplay is definitely true. Yeah, some of her pressure resets you just can't deal with. A lot of her stuff you just can't deal with. Adachi Elizabeth is actually cooked to that pressure resets. 2Bs are rising and the 2Cs too slow. Yeah, that makes sense. A lot of characters just don't have answers to her. I mean, Labrys especially, but I happen to know about that one. But you know, yeah, great movement, very little counterplay, and just incredible and consistent results in tournament at a lot of different levels. At the intermediate to higher level, we now have Yuzutu, who does really well. At the top level, of course, we have Flood. We saw in the Kumite, apart from our very own Luke, managed to beat pretty much all comers, including, I believe, Mighty Joey, one of the strongest players in the community. But yeah, Luke, he did very well beating Flood in the Kumite. But yeah, it's hard to see anyone contesting this. Even on defense, like the DP is good. It moves her without, like, it's hard to punish without very, very specific movement. Being Chie has burst Magarula, which is insane. It pretty much flips match on its head. Yosuke does have some nice counterplay, this is true, and maybe that's reflected in his position this year. But yeah, counter DP maybe not the most useful. Yeah, true. But yeah, it is just hard to deal with her, and I don't really have too much more to say about that. Nothing has changed. Pretty much, and the main focus of this is the change since last year. So unless anyone has any more points to make, I'm gonna move on. I wonder who's next. Drum roll please, everyone. It is Shadow Yukari. So for the same reason, it's still Yukari. I do think she uses Shadow decently. It gives her some slightly better kills, but most of her stuff is pretty burst safe anyway. But it's still Yukari. Yeah, Yukari number 2, Electric Boogaloo, basically. I don't think it's worth losing the consistency of normal for the benefits of Shadow. I don't think she needs the benefits of Shadow, which is why I have her second. That has not changed. We don't have many big Shadow Yukari players apart from s.X. s.X had some decent results, like I said. I was the one to knock him out of TNS, but they still do very well, very consistently. I don't think we have any other Shadow Yukaris. I know Ryuzus who can play Shadow, but they tend not to. And for good reason, I think. But that's it. Nothing surprising there, so we move on. I'm just going to check my Discord notifications, just in case. Alright, Sphero, if you would like to ping at stream, you are more than welcome to. But yes, I am just a small cat giving my opinions of things. But yeah, if anyone wants to join, they're more than welcome to. The next one is Shadow Naoto Shirogane. I don't know why I put the surnames here, but it is Naoto Shirogane, and it is the Shadow version. Yeah, so one of the highest damage characters in the game, effectively. Remarkably good normals, remarkably good in pretty much every aspect. A lot of reach, very fast, very good frame data, above s.Ken, Yeah, I think so. I mean, the issue with s.Ken is that we don't see many of them, and I think there's a reason for that. And I think there is more counterplay to s.Ken than there is to Shadow Naoto. Some blessed cancels in frame data. Yeah, exactly. That's the point. Her jump C is absolutely ridiculous. This move here, very fast, very large range, lots of dash cancels, lots of jump cancels. Yep, very true, very true. Yeah, for a character that's a zoner, like when you see someone like Yukiko, and then you compare it to Nazo, you're like, why would you ever play Yukiko? Shadow, I can see why you play Yukiko, but again, hey Diegos. Yeah, I mean, if you're looking purely to win, obviously everyone plays the character that they play to have fun, and I respect that. I respect the fact that not everyone just jumps to the top tiers in this game. But yeah, just remarkably good in so many different areas. This 2C is absolutely insane. It covers such a large range. Hey Ryuzuzu, good to see you. Welcome to the stream. Yeah, you've already sadly missed your character, which is Yukari, who was first. We are now in position 3. But yes, we have this 5D. This 5D is kind of insane, unless you have a really fast way to punish her. It basically wins you neutral in a lot of situations, especially when you have traps out. It's just so hard to move around, given the way it turns around these days. That 5B as well, when micro dashed, is absolutely insane. But yeah, KG talking about fuzzies. I mean, lots of people. Oh, Ken gets fuzzy by Labrys, so he sucks. Yeah, good point, KG. Anyone who loses to Labrys clearly sucks. But yeah, so good at using the shadow mechanics. Naoto is a character who is balanced around not having raid available until you are in Awakening. And always having it available is absolutely insane, especially with the meter gain that she has. Always having SB raid available is so good, so broken. As well as having poison and combos with poison. She just kind of has everything. That DP as well, incredible defensive tool. Can be used in so many ways. Effectively immune to safe jumps. You feel like Shadow Naoto, no matter how shadows are balanced, will always be a relevant character. Yeah, she was insane in 1.1 as well. Thank you very much for the follow, Flood. Welcome, good to see you. Very much appreciated. I am now at 100 followers. Amazing. Thank you very much. Appreciated, everyone. And yeah, just as a reminder, Yukari was number 1. We are number 3 at the moment. It went Yukari, Shadow Naoto. But yes, thank you very much again, everyone. Always appreciated. Glad to hear that people still love this game and content about this game. But yes, yeah, really good at using those shadow mechanics and just really strong and consistent results. Even, I mean, we've seen Karma whenever they turn up and feel like playing, they do really well. And I think they are a good player, but they just know how to use the absolute absurdity of what Naoto can do. And yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say. Stuff like this as well, the gun is one of the best zoning tools in the game. It covers so many angles. You can't roll through it. It beats Persona moves because it destroys Persona, and then you have 4 more bullets. It combos really well. On Shadow especially, given that you have raid. And yeah, character is just insane. It just does so well in every aspect. And that's pretty much all I have to say. I don't think much has changed. Karma was losing games to your Rise. Anyway, thank you very much for the follow as well, Joltio. Good to see you as well. We have not reached your character yet. Might be a little bit, but good to see you. Thank you very much. All right, let's keep it going. And speak of the devil, someone mentioned Shadow Ken, and we have reached Shadow Ken. So yes. Why do I make that sound? But the kapow sound. That's Labrys going kapow. But yes, here is the demon himself. The demon dog as well. Very strong rewards for very little risk. The dog just covers so many things. Unless you have a way to deal with the dog as well as keeping your turn and not losing momentum in neutral, you really struggle versus Ken. And once he knocks you down, some of the best set play in the game with very little counterplay. At close range, he can struggle, but getting to close range with that dog bearing down on you is very hard. And he does have multiple good reversals as well. 2 7-frame reversals for some reason. I don't know why he needs them. And the fact that they both cover a massive range. The Awakening one, which isn't Awakening for a Shadow, just covers so far above and is so fast. And the other one covers behind him for some reason, so you can't just roll it. It is kind of insane. And they also do a decent amount of damage. And yeah, just very hard to beat his flowchart and set play. Like, if he jumps at you, you can't really anti-air him with the dog coming at you. Like, if the puppet is being controlled properly, there is very little counterplay to him. Unless you have, like I said, a way to deal with the dog without really much cost to you. And yeah, Shadow also on this character. Most of his hits lead to absolutely insane damage. Just one of the best users of chain supers in the game. Just super into super without any issue. Avoids that, well, manages to abuse minimum damage. And yeah, I've seen him do very well at a lot of levels as well. We don't get too many players of him, but you do get enough. And I have seen some, I'm not going to name names here, but yeah, some players take games from stronger players just by running the set play. It happens. Just because there isn't really an answer if you play the set play well on a lot of characters. Unless you can cover both sides, unless you have ridiculous meter and can kill him before he gets started. And a character who can just send a dog at you for basically no cost, while at no cost to himself, so he's still a threat. Yeah, it's kind of insane. Some great normals as well. So this is his jump 2B. And if you're complaining about Labrys jump B, you need to see this move. This move is absolutely absurd. Yeah, covers so much range, cancels into multiple things that basically makes it so he can chain it into the ground. Yeah, really good. Yeah, just really strong. Really strong. But yeah, that's all I really have to say about the character. No change. Like I said, no change in my opinion. Good results. No reason to say anything else. His 2B is almost as strong as the Labby one. His 2B is actually rather slow, so that is technically a weakness of him. Oh, his jump. Yeah, jump B is good. Yeah, I was about to say his 2B is decent, but yeah, Labrys jump B with councils. Yeah, pretty much. And with a puppet as well to boot. So there we go. Not much more to say. So that is all of the Untouchable tier, in my opinion. I'll be interested to hear if anyone thinks anyone else belongs in this tier. But I think that these are the characters that, if you have picked up this game to win, you have to pick one of these characters. You don't have a choice. Labrys, maybe. No, s.Mits, no. That's an interesting one. Welcome, YouTube, by the way. I do not think s.Mits belongs in this tier. Possibly. Thank you for showing the lab reaction. That is my reaction to this tier as well. I do not think that s.Mits is as consistent. I believe she has to take slightly more risks. And she just hasn't had the results. I don't think we've seen s.Mits have consistent wins at the top. And I think there is a reason for saying that. I'm not saying Mits is bleh. But I think she was slightly overrated since the very start. She feels very oppressive, but you have counterplay in neutral. Maybe I'm biased because I'm a Labrys and I have the counterplay. s.Mitsuru was here last time, right? No, she was very near the top of competitive last time. I don't think she was ever in the Untouchable tier, no. But there we go. In my data sheet, which I'll publish, I will include the positions. It includes the positions for last year as well. But yeah, yeah, it's interesting. I do wonder, and maybe if we see a good s.Mits rise again, maybe she deserves to be in there. But I've just not seen it, and I just don't feel it when I play her. I have seen a decent amount of s.Mits, although what's the name of the... I think the biggest Mits in JP is normal, right? I know their name, but I can't remember exactly what it is. Hidaka, that's it. Thank you very much. Yes, Hidaka's a normal, and I feel like there's a reason for that. And I feel like there's a reason lots of them play normal. But yeah, s.Yukiko is next. Maybe, Diego's, maybe. But yeah, that's the tier. I don't feel like... Well, also, like, if you remember my definition of the tier, I don't think you want to be playing s.Mitsuru into any of these characters. I think against any of these characters, she is disadvantaged. So that pretty much means that she doesn't quite belong here. But there we go. Competitive tier bets on who is the top of competitive tier. This might be a surprising one to people. I do wonder if anyone's going to guess this one correctly, because this again might be a little bit unexpected. Luke with the guess again. Shab, maybe. I think Shab's decent, but normal Newt, normal Ken. These are all very good guesses. I appreciate it. It's not Yukiko because I hate Yukiko. Adachi, not quite. It is... I didn't even remember this. It's normal Ken. I think normal Ken is very strong. I think he gets to run the same set play as Ken. Yeah, good guess. Very good guess. I think he is worse in terms of resource gain, and you know, he can't chain the supers as well. And you know, he is slightly more at risk, but he is still the same set play monster. Ken, but you can burst a little more often. Yeah, pretty much. I still think there is such little counterplay to his flowchart. His OMB is actually strong, especially in the corner. I mean, I don't doubt it. The problem is we don't have I haven't seen the data for it. I don't know if we have many normal Ken players. I know we have like what's his name? Oki, I think, but he's not played at the top end quite yet. But yeah, I can absolutely believe that he has insane OMB combos. I just haven't seen them. Silliest of... Oh yeah, Silly Goose, yes. But yeah, you burst him and you're losing neutral. Yeah, exactly. I think the dog is just fundamentally too strong, is the issue. Ebstorm? I think, yeah, Ebstorm plays mostly Shadow. But yeah, that's pretty much it. That's all I really have to say. Not really much points on this one. Like I said, not much in terms of results, but I feel like that's just small player base at the moment. He doesn't play the game. I mean, yeah, there are lots of people who claim that they don't play the game, but there we go. All of these buttons still exist on him. This is why he is here. He has moved up one, mostly just because someone else has moved down. Not really much on the point of Ken. So there we go. And here is normal Naoto. So another good guess from Luke. And yes, here is normal Naoto. Shadow Naoto, but just slightly less broken because they actually have to reach Awakening to use the broken super. They do get the low 5 AA. This is a really good move. Having a standing move that hits low, that isn't the first move in the combo, makes blocking hard. It makes instant blocking hard. It is just the stagger, it becomes quite a bit better in my opinion. And I believe she also has 5 AA, 2A, I can't remember. Oh, maybe it's just because this is low that I think that. And yeah, higher non-fate damage. Obviously, she prefers to kill through fate for the most part, but you know, it means that she's not terribly worse than normal, but there we go. And yeah, has blocked by the live Labrys reaction. That's me. I wish this 5B didn't exist, but there we go. Really crazy stagger because she goes forward. Yeah, that's part of it. Really good Junpei as well to catch you trying to jump out. And it combos quite well. Stop watching Melty for this. Welcome, Panjit. Yes. Welcome. But yeah, it still has all of these broken normals. Still confirms really quite well from a lot of this. You're here for the hot takes. I think you missed a few of them already. But yes, the zoning tools no longer kill you, but they are still good. They will still knock you down. If you don't see anything that confuses you, you'll be pissed. You'll see something quite soon, I'm sure of it. Normal Naoto netplay demon? Yeah, I think the character still does really well. This DP is still incredibly strong. It is ridiculous that you get to backdash from someone setting off your counter DP. And yeah, just solid results. So the main culprit here being RDG, Mr. Random himself, really good player. Just demonstrating the comeback ability of this character. Like I said, Raid is broken. And any good Naoto will abuse Raid. DP can't beat hop jump TC. Well, I mean, maybe, if you delay it enough. Hey Piloter, welcome. Thank you for the blink. But yeah, just really consistent. Surprisingly consistent for being the worst version of a character. It's rare that the worst of the Shadow and the normal does this well. You showed off normal Naoto offline and that was definitely something. Yeah, I think so. I think RDG is a really good player and pilots the character very well and really shows what they can do. Just because being able to be a threat both close and far and in pressure and just having decent defense. Just very little weakness, very little counterplay unless you have something that can threaten her at full screen like Yukari and fully combo and just punish that gun. There are ways out of gun into Ricochet, but they are very specific and open you up to other stuff as well. Just character is a nightmare to deal with in a lot of scenarios. So she deserves to be here, in my opinion. I believe this movement up to is because because of IDG's results. I think the character has potential to go really far. And you're never sad to be doing this even against the Untouchables. Like, she stands a chance, which is why she's right at the top here. But yeah, that's normal Naoto. Here we go. Next one. Aigis. It's Aigis. Aigis has moved up a little bit as well, just because of what the character can do. I think Aigis chat has managed to lab a few more things. And just shown the consistency. Does have to do a little bit of work to get things started. Aigis is top one because she's annoying. I mean, she's definitely very good at pissing people off. I will tell you that. But yeah, really good character. Really good character. Does have Ogier to manage, which is why I think, like, if she was permanently in Ogier, I would put her in the Untouchable tier. But having to manage this, having to deal with it, I mean, in this version, she can go in and out of Ogier mid-combo. But it is still something you have to care about. It is still something that people can take advantage of. She does have some counterplay, which means she isn't quite as strong as some of the other characters, in my opinion. Really strong, but let's not talk about characters like that, KG. Be civil, we have lots of guests around, and we are busy talking about serious business. But yeah, has some counterplay to her, even to stuff like Ogier backdash. Lots of characters have ways to answer that sort of thing and to cover those options, and the fact that her DP doesn't go above her means that, you know, she has to risk something to use her defensive tools. I mean, Ogier backdash is amazing, but I think it's not as amazing as some people think, just because of some of her dead zones above her. And yeah, this 2C is really good this version. Like I said, it helps her get in and out of Ogier. No anti-air is important. That's a really good point. Her 2B is decent if done early, but has answers to it as well. If you roll her 2B, she is in trouble. Good cancel on DP is nice. They're okay. Shield is okay. I mean, yeah, it gets her out, but some characters have answers, some don't. If you roll it, and if she doesn't have meter to cancel it, it's punishable. Her jump C is pretty good. It is one of the weirder ones to confirm off of, which is why I don't consider it a major threat. I believe this is a jump C here. Yeah, that's right. It covers quite a good area above her as well, but doesn't cover behind. Like, yeah, it's a really good move at 8 frames. But again, not the reason I think she's broken. Because if you're not doing anything dumb into it, it's not going to counter hit you. Frame, is it 9? It might be 9. For some reason in my head I have it as 8, but you might be right. But yeah, also just not doing particularly well against those biggest threats, I think, is the main problem. You don't want to be playing Aigis into the Untouchable tier, in my opinion. It may well be 8. It is 8. But yeah, the reason she is below everyone else is because I don't think you want to be playing s.Aigis into Yukari. I think Yukari does way too well at shutting down her flight and her movement. And you have to fly, which is the problem. I think Yukari has an issue hitting people running at her, but you don't get the choice to run at her when you're in Ogiya, which is weird. But yes, it is actually a problem. And the normal anti-projectile of 5D just doesn't work against Yukari. But yeah. And Naoto as well. I think Naoto does decently here with that really active jump C, with a really fast 2B. I just don't think this is the character you really want to be playing. There's other couple of characters she struggles with as well. I think Minazuki is a big one, where she doesn't do all too well. So really nice all-round character, and in the matchup she does well. But in some matchups she doesn't. Into Ken, she's chilling. Maybe. The issue is we don't have that much in terms of evidence. I see why like 2B hitting the dog is a good thing. It means that she gets the cancel, and I don't think the dog has many good ways out of it. I do wonder if Ken has a counterplay. Maybe like 5D roll at the same time. I'm not sure if that's even possible. But yes. I've not seen too much how she does into Ken. Can't you just shoot the dog? Yeah, I mean, that's the issue. I mean, you have ways to make the dog dodge. The question is, can you have the dog dodge and punish s.Aigis for doing stuff? So if she does, for example, ground gatling, I imagine you can 5D instant air dash with Ken into a jump B and probably punish her for that. The air gatling probably is a bigger issue, but again, yeah, probably not winning, but better than Naoto Yukari. I think that's a fair assessment. She should be able to break bull. I think she might be able to with jump C. I think that's enough damage, but the bullets tend not to be able to. Yeah, effectively, really good character, but just not enough good matchups at the top for me to put her higher, effectively. But yeah, that's s.Aigis. I don't think there's too much more to say about her. I don't think she struggles, but she has a lot of nice tools in a lot of matchups. And yeah, once she has you in the blender, you are in trouble if the pilot of the s.Aigis is good. Very, very hard character to pilot, but you know, this tier list assumes you know what you're doing, and your pilot is doing the best that they can. And yeah, that's a good point about Shab as well. If Shab gets put in the blender, she basically has no good response to that, so she's pretty much dying. And yeah, decent average damage as well really helps kill people. So there we go. That is s.Aigis. Oh, it's Shadow s.Aigis. That's the problem with this game. A lot of characters, you'll see this a lot. Just normal into Shadow. Dennis Starr 1995 actually, I believe is his name. Not quite that old. Yes, it's the spicy s.Aigis again. I'll make this joke every year because it's just true. She does her damage slightly differently. Slightly better kill potential, but you're doing less average damage. So yeah, I don't know why you'd choose to do this, because the whole point of s.Aigis is to be consistent. Hotter, I guess. I mean, if you like the shadows. But yes, I don't know why you'd ever choose to do this. I've seen some players play her, but never consistently, and I don't think we've ever seen results from a shadow s.Aigis, but I don't think she can't get them, is the point. You think some s.Aigis players think she has some benefits in some matchups? It would make sense. I think shadows probably do better against lower health non-shadows, so against Yukari, you might want to play Shadow. Doesn't Guy play Shadow? Yeah, probably. I don't think I've seen Guy much in tournament, but yes. I think, yeah, against a normal Yukari or a normal Naoto, I would understand the Shadow s.Aigis over normal. People like the Snowball. Yeah, exactly. Like, not allowing for Burst Margarula is quite important, so I can see it happening. And the fact that she doesn't lose too much from it, yeah, I think it makes sense. And also, yeah, I think Spear does slightly more damage than Shield, and being able to double super slightly more often probably is a good thing. But I wouldn't take the average damage, because I feel like for the most part you want to be spending your meter on SB or gear. What's it called? Megiddo Fire. SB Megiddo Fire is where you want to be spending your meter for damage on this character. Which doesn't really play into the way that Shadows works. So yeah, I don't fancy her as much as normal, I guess. But yeah, still a strong character. Still does well, but you know, not quite enough in my opinion. But yeah, that's that. So that is Mrs. Spicy Aigis, and we will continue. Here's s.Mits. Still very high. Still a character I think is very strong. But I think just the results are inconsistent. And I'm not entirely sure if that's the character or the players, but I feel like it is at least somewhat the character. I think while she has good screen presence, a lot of it comes at some risk. And that risk is not something you can deal with against the Untouchable tier, right? Like, you cannot be whiffing a 2D versus Yukari, who was just going to hit you with an arrow and kill you. Who's above her? Everyone you've seen so far. So, both Yukaris, both Naotos, both Aigises, both Kens. But that's pretty much it. So not too many characters, to be honest. Still really up there. But I think, yeah, the risks that she has to take means that she isn't quite as consistent as some of the other characters. There are some matchups which aren't great for her. Watching Minazuki versus Wimi, it seems like Mitsuru really struggles hitting Yukari. Yeah, I think that's a good point. The poke is decent, but it's not that fast. And like I said, it comes at a risk. You saw the hot take normal Naoto that high. Okay, fair enough. But yeah, really good use of Frenzy. There's a reason she's above normal. Because, yeah, the smallest hit can turn into 6 to 8k. But yeah, it's just not quite there in terms of consistency. Just because you have to take those risks. Even coup droit, like, it takes some time to charge up. You spend a lot of time moving, and there's not much recovery, but if someone is attacking into that space, you're going to get hit. You think Shadow is probably mitigated a bit by her damage output, and even normal Mitsuru. Yeah. Amazing with punishing tools. I mean, kind of. You have to sacrifice your movement if you want to charge a coup. She has tools for every matchup. I don't think she has tools for Yukari. But maybe. Amazing, like I said, I'm not entirely sure she does. Yeah, I don't think she has tools for Yukari. Against Naoto, maybe. I'm not entirely sure how she interacts with traps. Like, if a Naoto sets a trap down and stands in front of it and blocks a coup, does the coup destroy the trap, or does Mitsuru get hit? Or does it, like, does it clash or something? I've not seen that matchup much, actually. I really would like to see that. Maybe we need to set up a first to 10 with, like, who even is our s.Mits these days? Maybe like maybe a Karma versus Wimi, or Karma versus Hidaka or something. Punishes Labrys orb with 1 at 5A. I mean, that's like half the cast. You have a grounded Fatal Jump B combo labbed out for Mits. Nice. Yeah, I mean, it is a point that coup has fatal recovery, but it is hard to punish. You have to be going into it. I think, I mean, these levels of poke, the thing about poke is that you have to follow it up with stuff. And if you get hit by a Naoto poke, for example, you're getting full comboed into a knockdown, and that's not always the case for Mits. Mits on a grounded hit doesn't get a knockdown unless she goes for a sweep, and that's not always possible. I don't think she's as scary. Like, her knockdowns aren't quite as good. She doesn't have the fast normals that you need to stagger someone. And like, even if you're poking someone at range, like, a lot of characters can sweep you out or just jump out, and then she has to deal with an awkward air hit. Maybe a really consistent player can handle that, but I've not seen the evidence yet to put her higher, in my opinion. I think maybe it's possible, maybe, but At some point you have to wonder why we haven't seen s.Mit's dominance. It has been prophesized many times, but I've not seen it yet, which is why she's been shuffled down. And this is the reason why she's dropped 2 places and a lot of other characters have gone up 2 as well, just because this has moved down pretty much. Total did get that top 8 in 2025. This is true. This is true. Was Total s.Mits? I thought Total plays normal, but maybe you're right. Maybe you're right. It is Shadow. Interesting. Okay, fair enough. You don't know about valuing results when this game is not played like that? I mean, you can see stuff from sets that people do and just general results, but maybe. Hey MBM, good to see you. Yeah, okay, so Total is s.Mits as well. Very interesting. Yeah, it's a good point. Maybe deserves to be slightly higher, but again, I'm not sure you want to be playing s.Mits into Yukari, and that's just so huge. It's so huge when considering how strong the character is in this meta. So, yeah, there's the reason. Like I said, it's still very near the top, but you know, we keep it going. All right then, I'm just gonna quickly check. All right, I just got pinged in the server, but we continue. You think she has the potential? You should play her. Give up on Adachi, play s.Mits. Show us the potential, Panjit. Yeah, I clearly think she's strong, and this is nowhere near the bottom, and moving down doesn't mean that you're a weak character. Well, Abby, you might be waiting a while, friend. But yes, here is Margaret. Margaret has moved down 5 positions. As to why, I think I overvalued her a little bit last time. I still think she has immense potential, but we just I don't know if we have the players for her at this moment in time. I think there is so many ridiculous things that she can do so safely. She has a lot of good answers to some of the stronger characters. Sayori does play the character, this is true. But yeah, just lots of threats and counterplay at every range. Like that sweep covering everything is extremely important. For example, for hitting the dog, being able to Panta Ray at pretty much full screen, which covers both in front of her and far away. You think players, she's on an uprising. Yeah, getting down to Frosties is pretty good. Taihichi doing well in the Invitational, yeah, true. Fortune playing again is very important as well. Thanks to you and Panjit for mentioning that. I think she has what it takes to go to the top, and I think she has some decent counterplay for some of the really strong characters. So for example, being able to sweep Naoto when Naoto is about to use bullets, being able to clear the entire ground, having really hard to react to pressure as well. That jump 2B is absolutely insane in terms of how it works. That jump C is also incredibly good. I don't think she quite has the movement to use it to its full potential, but it is still absolutely insane. This 5C is also incredibly strong, and having strong moves on persona buttons is incredible because it means that even if you are facing the wrong way, it will still come out the right way, which makes her somewhat immune to cross-ups. This goes for the jump C as well. Even if you're facing the wrong way, it will come out and hit your opponent anyway. It just makes it really hard to deal with. This thing under my logo here is the fireballs. They are incredibly strong as long as you're not spamming them. Just yeah, really good screen presence, and I think it is just a matter of time before we see this character go crazy pretty much. We just need someone to really start grinding with Margaret, and I think it's possible. I think there is a reason that Lord Knight switched from Mitsuru to Margaret. I think he's a very smart player, and I think, yeah, this character can go the distance in my opinion. Poor meterless defense does kind of suck. I mean, yeah, like she has slightly lower defense. I don't think it's terrible. Like, yeah, the DP isn't great. The DP is fine on block. It's -2 on block effectively, which, you know, is pretty decent. If the opponent isn't doing anything. But I mean, she also has Power Slash, which is one of the best reversal supers in the game. So, you know, It cancels into amazing damage. It is just very hard to deal with because you can't tell the difference between C and D version, and D version beats rolls. The only thing it pretty much loses to is instant kills, and you have to be really far ahead to threaten instant kill against this thing. But yeah, character is good. I think has potential. You think she was better in 1.1 Panjit? Yeah, maybe. This is maybe true. I can't remember exactly what she lost, but you know, I still think she has it. Maybe she is nerfed. I really need to go and check the patch notes again for this character, but I still think she has a lot of broken stuff. Damage was nerfed, SB Panterate. Okay, yeah. Ah, yes, I remember now. You're right. You're right. Maybe that's why in my head she's stronger than I thought. But yeah, like I said, has moved down quite a bit. It's no longer near the top of the tier, but I think she is still competitive. I do not think you have issues if you are playing this character to win a tournament, pretty much. Everyone, I mean, it's a good point that KG makes as well. A lot of characters have had their damage nerf. That was pretty much a global thing, apart from a few notable exceptions, pretty much. 1.1 to make you lose your mind with some of the reversals. Try playing Labrys with Moon Smasher doing 4k, and s.Aigis Spear doing 4k. Yeah, it was a fun time. I am happy that we have 2.5, but you know. SB Panther, okay, good point, good point. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I don't think I have too much more to say here. We are waiting for the Margaret uprising. Everyone had damage nerfs that kind of and made up for it in terms of consistency and convergence. Yeah, I think it's a good point. I think that's one of the things that they tried to do. They tried to get the damage out of the supers and reversals and into the combos, which worked well for some characters. I mean, yeah, there was a whole proration overhaul that changed how a lot of characters worked. And I think Margaret with good hits does 4k off of a lot of stuff. But yeah, not true for Adachi. He only got damage nerfs. Maybe. Maybe. I mean, yeah, Adachi lost a lot of stuff. This is true. I don't disagree with you there. Anyway, yes, we shall move on. I think we've said enough. To Elizabeth, which is probably one of my other hot takes. A little bit, at the very least. I think this character has some of the best tools in the game at a lot of ranges. The issue is we've lost a lot of our Liz players at the top end. The two sisters, yeah. The Velvet Room sisters sit next to each other this time. Liz 5A is an incredible move, really good point. This is absolutely insane. It has basically no recovery for how far it goes. It is almost strictly better than Lab 5A in a lot of ways, which is saying something because Lab 5A is good. We're going to get Lloyd back. Lloyd still plays. Liz sucks bottom one. Maybe. But yeah. And also in Awakening, ridiculous tools. So, oops, spoilers. Yeah, that Garudine is absolutely insane. It's basically a left-right that baits two Bs. That is also +7. Well, up to +7 if done right. It's absolutely insane. You're personally good at the matchup, so she's bad. That sounds like a normal fighting game take to me. Yeah. One of the best winners of 2.5 in terms of buffs. You got to play Atarax offline. Yeah, can be tough. I think a big thing in the matchup versus Liz is, do you have a 5-framer? Or a 6-framer, I suppose, because if you instant block jump 5C, you can then break the persona. But yeah, it is absolutely huge. You're right, Luke. If you don't have that, you are pretty much screwed, because then she actually has tough pressure to deal with. It's not the biggest thing in the world, but you know, it's still decent. That jump C is absolutely insane in terms of how good it is as a starter and air delays. She has multiple good air delays, Garudine being one of them, jump C being another. Her jump B is an anti-air in itself, while also being an air to ground. At 6 frames, it makes the 2 charge CRBS a bit different. Yeah, I think it trades if you instant block. yeah, it's something that I would look into, but my character doesn't have it, so you know. But yeah, I mean, there are some not amazing matchups that she has. So the reason she is as low as she is that she struggles against some stronger characters. Yeah, Adachi Jump C. Well, Adachi Jump C beats a lot of other things, you know. But yeah, she does struggle. 6-fight frame allows characters to jump block, but not a complete punish. I see. So still not great. Destroyed by Yukari, yeah, but that's everyone, right? But yeah, that's the reason she isn't higher. But she also has stuff like Mazio, which in my opinion is one of the strongest specials in the game. It is both physical and projectile, so you can't anti-projectile it. The persona goes in front of her, so it's actually hard to hit her for doing anything wrong. You pretty much have to super jump before it comes out to even consider punishing this thing. You basically get no, if you block it, you basically get nothing. And remember, Liz is a character who wins by existing. So having her encourage you not to come in or force you to block is basically a win for her. As long as she's not giving you massive amounts of meter by instant blocking. And yeah, just being able to turn those resources, which she generates for free, into damage and setup and kills. I think this character is really strong. Not quite as strong as the characters we've seen before, but you know, has what it takes, in my opinion, to be very difficult for a lot of characters. But yeah, the issue is relatively untested in tournament settings, and I would like to see her more in tournament, but we just need more players, really. She loses to a lot of good characters? Maybe. I'm not sure if it's a lot, but some of them. And I'm not entirely sure how. Some people claim she loses some matchups that I disagree with, but you know. Labrys Yukari Zerks, right? I wonder, where'd you get that idea? Anyway, that's pretty much all I have to say about Liz. I haven't changed her position since last year. I don't think there is any reason to. I've seen no evidence of any real changes. So that's why she stays here. There we go. And yes, the spoiled one. S.Chie, yeah, kills very easily. Very good stagger. Very easy to get a kill. A majority of characters above her probably beat Liz. Yeah, that's why Liz is there, I think. If I value results, why put Liz so high? I mean, Liz hasn't had results either way, right? So, you know. Yeah. Hello, Chie. You're losing fate. I mean, s.Yukiko might be soon. Because we're at the point where we're playing characters who aren't that strong, but have insane shadow frenzies are, right? Because that's Chie. S.Chie at the very least. Yeah, really good stagger and really good set play will get you that hit that you need to kill someone. And also really good neutral in terms of C buttons at the very least. Not much threat at full screen. Very blessed frame data and cancels, this is true too. The issue is being in range to use them. I mean, the dash 5C is good, but it isn't quite good enough to compete with everyone else pretty much. Like more than Naoto in some ways. Like I said, I think Naoto's has better range and better confirms off of them on average. I think, yeah, she has some great moves. Like the fact that this jump C here is not head attribute is kind of insane. It leads to some really nasty mix-ups that she can do that you pretty much can't deal with. I don't know why they did that. So this is 5C over here. This is 2C over here. Both of these are really good. 2C because it's really active. 5C just because of the range and it having persona invuln. Lots of jump cancels, yeah, is really strong. But then the issue is what's she going to do with those jump cancels? She doesn't have that many good ways of jailing apart from the jump C, and I think some characters can just DP her out of that. It's not quite the same as other characters like Naoto, who can just mash jump A on you until she's back on the ground again, and also do like a quad high at the same time. So it's not that level of broken, but it is decent for sure. So yeah, really strong. And yeah, if she presses Frenzy with enough meter, you just die. Like 6 to 8k. So good, but I think takes too much to get her hits that she needs to be above where she is right now. And yeah, it also doesn't do too well against the characters before her, pretty much. Yeah, she stole all of Labrys' jump cancels. Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. Yeah, for a rushdown character, I think she has the right amount of cancels and frame data, but she needs to use them effectively. Yeah, got a touch. You got touch of death from Chie on a jump B with 50 to 60 meter. Yeah, I think that is possible. Yeah, it might be slightly higher than 60, but is one of the best robbers in the game. She will steal your life bar and leave you with nothing and leave you crying on the ground. Best pressure in the game. I mean, yeah, her 5A stagger is ridiculous. Power charge is, yeah, it is ridiculous for a non-awakening super, I agree. But, you know, she still needs to hit you, which is the problem. And I think, well, I won't mention this yet because I don't think we've seen many Shadow Chies. I know Dead Dog can play Shadow Chie, and I don't know why they don't play them in tournament. Underplayed at the top level. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. I don't know why. I don't know, maybe that players just prefer Chie. I mean, I've got a lot of new players playing Chie as well. I'm not sure why, but high execution, I wonder, maybe you're right. It doesn't look hard, it just looks like you're spamming all your moves, but maybe there's some subtleties about it that I don't know. So you're probably right. Yeah, this tier list is about people not messing up, so yeah, good character, but just top tier that requires fundies. I mean, everyone requires fundies in Persona, but yeah, I think it requires more of you in terms of neutral. You think he's practicing normal? His shadow is in par. Is this normal? I'm scared. If Dead Dog has a good shadow, I am very scared. But there we go. We must fear the dog. But yeah. Alright, let's keep it going. Here's Minazuki. Minazuki is a character that I would like to see more of. I think he just has everything. And some great answers to some other top tiers. Like I said, he does well against s.Aigis. That 2D being able to go behind people is strong, but it also means you need to not be hit at the same time. I would still not want to play him into Yukari. Into Naoto, maybe he, if you stick in Naoto's dead zones far away, you can get in. Sorry to you guys. Maybe you'll see your character soon. But yeah. Yukari, it seems he has some interesting counterplay. I imagine it's possible. I just don't think we've seen it yet. He's good at the Naoto matchup. I'd believe you. Again, I've not seen it, but we need to see those matches. Run goes under arrows. That is nice. That is always nice. Definitely very common high top level thanks to Migaki, Shita. Yeah. This is true. This is true. Okay, I'm gonna have some water. Sorry, I'm speaking too long, too fast. Yeah. All right. Okay. All right. I think we've had enough of the lab reaction as well. I'm going to manually disable it, just so that someone can react again if they want to, and we can get it out of the way for the moment. There we go. But yes. Cheetah and Mist have fought Wako Speaky a few times. Yeah, probably. It's just not coming to mind exactly how that went. The JP results are interesting. They play first to 1, which is very fast and you don't get much data. But yes. Yeah. He's an interesting character. He has lots of good threats, a lot of ranges. I just think that maybe slightly too straightforward in what he does. And yeah, the mix without meter isn't amazing. He does have, what's it called? He has a command grab, but it requires him to not be at the range that he actually wants to be at. So, and the stagger isn't amazing either. So like, he has enough, and yeah, the conversion is really strong. Like even at full screen, if you get a good 2D, you can go into 4K. If you catch someone jumping, if you catch someone backdashing or pressing anything. And saying gimmicks, yeah, I think so, but it's gimmicks, it's not solid. It's not his normal flowchart. And I think for a character to be truly broken in this game, you need to be broken in your flowchart, which is why he's down here. Like I say down here, he's still in the upper half of the competitive tier. But, you know, I think he requires too much to go right before he starts being broken to be higher than where he is. Balance broken. Yeah, pretty much. That's a good way of putting it. Broken flowchart. Well, yeah, stuff like your Kens or your Yukaris, where people basically have no ways of dealing with it, or their flowchart includes fuzzies or includes ways that basically pressure you without having to put any risk on themselves. He doesn't need nasty mix-ups because the point of him is to sit there and control mid-range. I mean, yeah, but then you have to play mid-range, right? Once you get someone in a blender, they can't escape. You don't have to play mid-range again. You remember Shadow Yosuke was next for 2025? Do you think Shadow Yosuke is going to be in the same spot? Maybe. Maybe. But yeah, I think that's all I have to say about Mina, really. You know, that's all. Wow, you guessed correctly. Yes, this is Shadow Yosuke. I think he is strong in a lot of aspects. Incredibly good movement, incredibly strong mix-up options. It's almost as if most of this list hasn't changed. But yes, he does have to build resources once or twice before he gets to kill you. But, you know, doing damage with poison, it's just so strong. It means your opponent doesn't get to build their burst back up. It means you get to ignore awakening. And just, yeah, really hard to pin down. Really hard to get in the corner just because of that DP, because of his movement, because of how he can attack with his movement as well. So for example, with that jump C, he can just sort of press it and it lasts forever. So you have to get your answer out really early. The kunai makes him a threat at an angle that most characters aren't a threat at. So just running up on him can be difficult. Really good 2B, really good, incredible stagger. That 5C as well is probably the most broken 5C in the game, maybe, just because it is near unpunishable. If you roll it, even in good time before it comes out, he is almost always either even or even positive. It is really good. Not only because it's 12 frames, but because the recovery is so low. I mean, the whole move whiffing being fast is the issue, right? Like, most characters in the game, you can roll their 5C, but you can't roll Yusuke's 5C, pretty much, unless you have a 5-framer and you do it so early. So yeah, it's an incredibly good move. It's just so good, so many good things about him. And yeah, really, really good, well able to use Frenzy. The only reason he is down here is possibly because, again, somewhat struggles with the characters at the top end, in my opinion. Again, still top half of the competitive tier, but just not quite there in terms of characters you want to be playing when you're in a grand finals. I don't think you want to be playing s.Yosuke if you're facing Yukari. I think he can deal with her, but I just don't think you want to be on this one. With recovery assisted suggestion, yeah, when a character has frame data this good, you basically aren't punishing him for anything. You have to swat him out of the sky while he's doing something. This was used to describe a character in playing in BB, and I think it matches Yosuke. He's a 5-5 matchup, the character. Yeah, that's an interesting way of putting it. I think if you know what Yosuke is about to do, you can kill him for it, sometimes. Unless he is already pressuring you, in which case, no, you can't. But yeah, he's an interesting character. Strong, but not untouchable strong. And not quite as consistent as some of the other ones I've already mentioned. Yeah, nice character. I think hard to pilot well but can be done, as has been well, the normal has been demonstrated by Luke, but what's his name? Octo has demonstrated that s.Yosuke can get results, and I think there's some others as well. But yeah, good character, good character. Greek is definitely the best Shadow pilot. That makes sense. Yeah, I forgot that Greek plays Shadow as well. Low damage though. I mean, yeah, the reason he has climbed since previous years, at least since 2024, is because people have found ways to make his damage consistently good. And poison is the big thing. But yeah, we have moved on to Adachi. I don't think Adachi's moved because he has moved, I think because someone else has fallen. But here is Adachi, the mid-range monster himself. Some of the best meter usage in the game, for both mix and damage. The SB gun being ridiculous. I mean, he didn't technically go up. I mean, he did, but only because someone else fell. Yeah, really strong neutral, but can't actually skip neutral, and doesn't do that well against your Yukaris, which is the main reason he's here. Not too much representation as of late. It was weird, we had so many Adachi players and they all disappeared. But yeah, it's just, this jump C is really good, this 5C is really good, so many, maybe, but yeah. I mean, we had Jordan, but Jordan doesn't really play much anymore. Panjit, you don't really play too much anymore. I mean, we had Cornball, and we had... I'm sure there were a couple of others who were playing Adachi, but I can't remember who they are now. But yeah, you don't see him too much at the top anymore, sadly. I think the character has a lot of potential. Having command grabs, having zero frame supers... that are command grabs. Nezo, yes, Nezo, that's right. I think Nezo does quite well. Yes, Nekoze, that's true, that is true. Pashiri, yes. These are some big names, but again, not see them too much as of late in the big tournaments, but yeah, I think really good character in a lot of ways, as you can see from his diagram up here behind chat. Good all-rounder. I don't know why they gave him a zero frame super and let him keep it, but there we go. He is a grappler apparently. EVO Japan in May, yes, hopefully we get some good Persona. Is Persona in there as a side tournament? I hope so. Buff Adachi, yeah. I mean, he did get some nerfs from 1.1, this is true. But yeah, he just really good in a lot of ways. It made it, very nice, I'm glad to hear it. But yeah, neutral strong, but just has to actually play neutral, which is slightly more than can be said for some of the other characters who have come before. And yeah, his zoning tools are good, but they are slow. So characters who can just do something full screen in response, like your Liz, like your s.Aigis, like your Yukaris, like your Naotos, they don't get to deal with it. I mean, against Naoto, jump 2D is a big threat, but you know, Adachi doesn't struggle into Liz. I agree. But I'm just saying, characters with full screen instant responses can beat his zoning tools at the very least. But yeah, strong character. Adachi doesn't struggle into Naoto? Yeah, probably not. But I just imagine he can't 5D. But yeah, I think he does decently. It's the reason why he's competitive. I don't think you were ever terribly sad to be playing Adachi, apart from if you're playing Yukari. And maybe an s.Aigis, maybe. But yeah. Where's the BAOST? Okay, we can switch songs. We can switch songs. We will switch songs. Alright, we will go into the Persona one. And I will move this up a little bit. There we go. Okay, his spread isn't impressive. Yeah, exactly. I think it's strong. I think against some weaker characters he does incredibly well, but it's just not what you want to see. He isn't doing anything that broken besides 5C and jump C. I think that is somewhat agreeable. I mean, everything he does post Mandala is broken. But Mandala is enough that I mean, most characters are going to be killing once you full combo someone after you're in awakening anyway. Like, that's pretty normal. So it's not really that much in terms of robbery. Like, it's high damage for sure, but Adachi is a character that you don't want to fight in characters above in this. Yeah, I think that's a fair point, which is why he's here. He's good. He's good. There we go. There we go. You don't mind Yosuke? Yeah, I think that's a fair assessment. He probably... I do wonder how that Yosuke matchup goes. Most exaggerated bad matchup in the game? Maybe. Do you want to do a first 10 versus Luke, Panjit? I'd like to see that. Or just do a long set. I want to see that set. You should do it. You should come back out of retirement, old man. It's time for you to show me the results. You say you don't play the game. I see you in the server all the time. You should play more. You should play more. You played a bit before Frosty. It's nice. Anyway, let's keep it going. It's Yosuke. Talk of the devil. In which case, we can continue talking about this. But yeah. Here's Yosuke. Here is Yosuke. Great neutral and pressure. And I think, as you can see, Yosuke has moved up a lot. And I wonder who that's due to. It might be due to someone here. And the reason he has jumped so high, I think, is because of the potential that has been shown dealing with Yukari and dealing with Naoto. I didn't really see the movement. It's Vero. Yes, you are the Yosuke. Oh, yeah. Sorry, Panjit. I apologize you had to face Yukari once ever. But yeah, great neutral and pressure, but damage is slightly lacking until you spend that meter. And I think that's the main issue. But yeah, he can confirm off a lot of hits. Being able to confirm off of very high hitting stuff into a knockdown is impressive, especially for what he can do in terms of movement. And yeah, he has a lot of unique responses to game plans just through the movement itself. A lot of characters have to rely on their buttons to deal with what other characters have, and I think Yosuke can do it through movement, and movement is very strong in this game. And yeah, I needed to see that happen before I put him here, I think was the issue. And I think Luke has demonstrated this very well. And yeah, seeing his performance in that Kumite really opened my eyes to the potential. So yeah, it's just really tough to punish and call out after a lot of what he does. So I've seen some newer Yosuke players appear as well, and like I can know what they're about to do. They can waste their second jump. And normally against most characters, if you waste your second jump, you're in trouble. But on Yosuke, you're fine. Which to me is absurd. Being able to do... I mean, Yukari can do that, obviously. But Yosuke is one of the few other characters who can do that. Less frame data, has a 5A, 2A. Some really good frame data on a lot of stuff. As mentioned before, that 5C is insane. And yeah, some strong results, like I said. Not downplaying how well Luke has to play to get those results, but it shows potential. And this list is all about potential, right? So this is why he has grown this much. Congratulations. I think he has jumped a tier. He was, I believe, the top of strong but outclassed, but now he's in competitive, just because I do not think you are sad to be playing this character in any situation. I would not tell you off for playing this over Shadow either. I think you still have a decent chance, and I think the consistency of the combos that people have on normal these days means that he's worth playing. When will the Labrys go up 7 places? No, sadly not. Is the difference between him and Shadow only 1 now? It's 2, because we had Adachi in between. But yes, I suppose, yeah, one character between them. But yes, depends how you're counting. Yes, there we go. There is Yosuke. I think I've said everything I want to say. Good character, and very good pilot, I will say. Luke made this happen. Yeah, you should be proud of what you've achieved. Like, a lot of new people have come into the game, and like the amount you've grown is absolutely insane. When I first played you, I was winning pretty much every match, and now we've got to the point where I think you win the majority of matches we play. And I am thoroughly impressed by your dedication to the character and how much you've learned. Yeah, I mean, it shows that people can come from nothing and face the veterans and still do well as well, which I hope people take to heart and pick up the game or pick it back up again. It is, yeah, really nice to see. Nice to see. Here's Marie. Excellent DP and reversal super is one of the biggest things, so I think she is the character with the top defense rating in that category. Shell is just so absurd. Really good damage as well if you get the right type of hit, and honestly, she is set up to get that right type of hit. You thought she'd be higher? I mean, I think other characters moved ahead of her is the only reason she is where she is. Really good damage. If you leave her alone, her presence can't be interacted with, which is a problem. I mean, you can interact with movement, but she still exists once you do that, and the presence still go off. You just have to, well, the cloud can't be interacted with, the present can, the ground present chocolate can. Really good dash acceleration, which makes her movement really good, which combined with this 5B makes that 5B really hard to punish. Labrys orb if it was made by Satan himself, yeah. Yeah, chocolate is absolutely absurd. Really good jump B. Incredibly fast, goes both ways. Why is my music not looping? Loop. Yeah, that 2B is actually incredibly good. It has vanilla levels of recovery on it, 20 frames, while also being really fast, so it's a spammable move. It's very rare to have a spammable 2B in this game. Not the biggest 2B, but it's still really good, and leads into lots of damage and counter hit. Nice 5C. That jump D is also kind of insane for what it does and for not being head attribute. Yeah, really good. And that's the DP, that's the shell. Just does a lot of things really well. We've seen some good results as well from Marie. I believe in the recent TNS, the winner was a Marie mirror, I believe between Basil and someone else, I think, if I'm remembering that correctly. Sorry, not Trading Mode Network, TMN. TMN, you're right. Typo in speech. Quick, get him. No, in TMN. TMN Neo, it was a Marie mirror. K-Mir, that's it. I'm not old. I have a brain that works. But yes, there we go. So, Marie mirror, and I think for good reason. I think the character is strong. I was impressed, but they both played really well, don't get me wrong. But I think there was a reason why it happened. Character does a lot of stuff and is very hard to punish just because of that really good defense and those really good neutral tools. If you don't know how to stop her from sending out presents, you're pretty much stuffed. But yeah, good character. Would like to see more of her at the top. I don't think we see too much of her anymore. I can't remember who was it that used to do the tournaments in JP that I think they always played the winner of the grand finals. Who was it? Someone in chat will remind me. Chat, save me. Oh, Yoshino, that's it. Thank you very much. Yes. I mean, they played a solid Marie, and they did take matches from the winners of those tournaments quite often. But yeah, I think the character is strong, but just not as strong as some of the characters we've seen before. Decent normals, decent pressure. Just, yeah, not quite as solid, not quite as guaranteed to get those hits. Standing 5A is nice, but, you know, it doesn't have much else in the way of great stuff. So, there we go. I don't think I have much more to say on Marie, to be honest. You think she's better than Adachi, not gonna lie? Has a better matchup spread than him? Maybe. I'm not entirely sure the... It looks like Panja agrees with you. Maybe. It's possible. I think I'd need to have more evidence to agree with you there. I think Adachi just is slightly scarier in more scenarios and has better mix. Like, if I have Marie on top of me, I'm not as scared as if I have an Adachi on top of me, pretty much, in my opinion. I'm not entirely sure why that is. Maybe just because the pressure resets are slightly better. On Adachi, Adachi has that command grab. Adachi with the supers can suddenly explode you. Marie takes a little bit more time to do that damage and is slightly more burstable. Because yeah, Adachi is kind of hard to burst at times. And yeah, it doesn't have the buff. Like, Adachi's buffs are strong. Adachi needs 50 meter. Yeah, it is true. It is true. Marie being better than Adachi. Matchup spread. Maybe you're right. I do wonder how Marie does into the characters like Naoto and Yukari as well. I feel like Adachi maybe does slightly better against Naoto. Maybe. Slightly losing with Yukari. Interesting. Naoto is a 5-5. I wonder. Maybe Marie needs to move up then. Maybe that's a good point for next time. I don't think I'll make any changes at the end of this stream, but I'll have a think. Adachi doesn't seem to have a great time versus Naoto. Well, that's not what Panjat says. I'm not sure. I mean, that's the thing. It's hard to say because in an ideal world, these positions will all be about like average matchup spread, but you've got to shape it around the meta as well. It's an interesting one, and maybe one I'll consider after the stream, but I don't know. A lot of the time, I'd prefer to see Marie to an Adachi on the other side, but maybe that's just me. Maybe I just don't like the variance that Adachi brings. Maybe Marie is the more consistent pick. And maybe that's it. Marie is more consistent, but Adachi's just sort of scarier to face down. But there we go. That's the position that I put them in. The match has generally shown Marie to outperform Adachi. I wonder. Maybe. Here's s.Yukiko. Diego's, are you still alive? Diego's, are you still here? Has he died? Please say something if you're still alive. But yeah. There we go. He wins. Here is Shadow Yukiko. A mid character. This is still a competitive tier, mind you. The competitive tier in this game is quite big in my opinion. But yes, I think not the best in a lot of aspects, but the frenzy does still give her the ability to turn frankly ridiculous hits into kills. And yeah, basically gets to ignore all of her intended weaknesses, which is you need to get your levels up, you can't chain your supers, Miragi Dyne only exists when you're in Awakening, can't turn unblockable hits into kills, that sort of thing. Yeah, that's it. Some solid results as well, but again, not seen at the top yet. Do correct me if I'm wrong, chat. I'm not sure if I've seen anyone take a tournament with Shadow Yukiko in a while. Character went down by 1, just because because Yosuke went up. Is pretty much the only reason. You want to see more of normal Yukiko? Yeah, I mean, mid-level killer is a good way of putting it. Hero was a top rep in JP. Interesting. I've not seen much of Hero. Maybe that's just because I haven't watched enough JP stuff recently, but again, has taken a lot of netplay tournaments. Interesting. Good to know. Maybe needs to be higher. But yeah, maybe should be with Chie with not great and neutral, but is insane once you get your hit. But I do wonder. I feel like Chie is more explosive. Yeah, I mean, it is always good to see underexplored characters get stuff. It's just great to see people try things that are new. And it's great to see people just play every character. But yeah, he is here. The fans are better than they used to be in 1.1. They are quite oppressive if you don't have a way past them. Yeah, of course. If you want to go around saying you play a mid-tier, you're more than welcome to. I will not endorse this, but I can't stop you. The DP actually causes a lot of trouble for some characters. I know s.Aigis players hate that DP. And it is weirdly hard to punish, but it's still not great. But yeah, Firebird is also nice, but again, you don't get much from it. Can you even confirm from it, I wonder? Yeah, that's that. So we continue. I don't think there's too much to say. But yeah, I hope to see more players. And best of luck to you, Diegos. And who's the other? S.Yukiko? There is another s.Yukiko who plays quite a lot recently. Can't remember the name. Chat, save me. Please. Endo, yes, End of Space. They are a good Shadow Yukiko as well. Would be good to see them more. Thank you very much. Yes, I am impressed by both of Diego's and End of Space. But yeah, I think once they get some really consistent stuff and they start abusing that Shadow Frenzy to the optimal ability, you might see them taking tournaments. But until then, Shadow Yukiko remains here. Here's Shadow Labrys. Don't think we have Killer Kitty around, but yes. This first point, I do wonder if this is still true as the anti-Yukari and Naoto option. I think they do decently, but I still think the lack of defense is a big problem in this game. In a game as explosive as this, dying quickly is a problem. We had Swamp Puppy, we did. But yeah, it just has to do too much, and dying that quickly is just so sad. The puppet is useful, but it's also dangerous. The Shab players are around are a dog and a cat. Yeah. That is pretty funny. The Swamp Puppy and the Killer Kitty. We even had the cat battle back in the Shab versus Lab tournament. But yes, being made of paper and having bad defense is just sad. Bull is anti-matter. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of the point. This is, I think, what keeps her alive. And, you know, does have decent options. I've seen some really impressive stuff from Swamp Puppy and Killer Kitty in terms of getting really fancy punishes and just mix-ups. So in terms of comparing to Labrys, a lot of her moves are faster and she has better mix-ups and better confirms off of them with the bull. So character has some cool stuff, and like I said, does really well in this tooling aspect just because has the anti-Yukari tech somewhat, because the bull does block stuff. The issue with having the bull block stuff is that it's no longer going and hitting your opponent, which is what you want it to do. And I'm not entirely sure if Yukari is able to stay above where 2C hits. I think my full super jump height is above where 2C hits, but it still is slightly risky. Isn't Swamp Puppy another word for alligator? Interesting point. Yes, all of the Labrys players are cats and dogs and alligators and animals. Bullet eatable as well. Yes. In fact, I'm pretty sure does the ricochet bullet do enough damage, or the final bullet? I can't remember. I don't think so. But yeah, it just does decently versus some of the biggest threats. So I think deserves to be here. Still takes too many risks and just has poor defense. So you can do decently. I just don't think it's the character you really want to be on. Maybe we need Banana Ken back to prove me wrong. But you know, we have our own, and hopefully they will continue to do well. Killer Kitty has done quite well in a lot of recent tournaments, actually. But yeah, just I think we need to see a bit more, and even if they are decent, it's just there's so much risk. If you make one mistake, you are halfway to death in this game, and you know, not being able to reach Awakening is so huge. Animals and chasers. You know, oh hey Swamp Puppy, good to see you. Yes, this is your character. Only has moved down again, I think because Yosuke moved up, but again, I do wonder about the potential of this character. Like there's some really cool stuff. I think Swamp Puppy, I see you do like the safe jump B into air guillotine, which is something that I do with the OMT, except you actually get to confirm off of it, I think, which is really cool. Yeah. Character is okay, but you know, just so scary to play. Like when I'm playing Labrys and I get a single hit, I'm like, oh, I can now kill this character. And not being able to use your burst, like having to use your burst defensively is such a big thing in this game. I do want, like, from what I've seen, the OMB combos on s.Labrys do go crazy, but you have to get that combo to work. And yeah, there's potential. As the combos get better, as people figure out new mix, maybe there's more. He beats Ken too. Maybe. I'd be interested to hear your logic on that one. I mean, the dog runs past the bull, right? Goes straight towards... Oh, does it not? I actually can't remember. Can someone please tell me how that works? I can't remember how the dog interacts with the bull. I'm pretty sure the dog hits do break the bull. They're enough damage. Someone, tell me. Maybe nobody knows. Anyway, I think we've had enough time, unless someone else wants to weigh in. We will continue. You could ask the Ken players. It's the only character Ken players say he loses to. Interesting. You think what's the makes the matchup hard is the bull breaks the dog. Ah, okay. I see. Maybe that is true. Maybe that is true. I get the feeling the dog... Yeah, I suppose if you are hitting the dog, it is a lot of alpha damage. Against a DP has the range for Ken's pressure. That is... Yeah, I mean, it is technically true. You made a Yukiko. Yeah, this is very true. Again, normal Yukiko, yeah. Shadow Yukiko, she just dies in one hit too, so... Anyway. No thirsting for the characters in the chat. At least not right now. In normal streams, sure. But, yeah, not right now, please. Still kills s.Yukiko? Maybe. I feel like there's some counterplay there from the s.Yukiko. Anyway, here's normal Mitsuru. Maybe slightly lower than some people might expect. But I just think, yeah, it has to hit you way more than s.Mits does. And having those extra hits for people to actually get that hit on you is too much. And I just we don't see her that much in the top. And we've had some good players of Mits as well. I think she struggles a lot more than people expect. And that is the reason why she is down here. Again, still competitive. I don't think you're in big trouble if you're playing Mits, but I just don't know why you'd do this if you're looking to win. And there's a reason people switch off of Mits. Because, you know, character has some stuff, but it's just... If you mess up, you are now in a lot of recovery. You don't have the normal stagger that people are. Hey Arias, good to see you. We are nearing the end of the competitive tier. And the full list will be shown up until where we are very soon. So you'll be able to catch up. But yeah, I don't think we see her much. We have Hidaka, who plays in JP, who is a really good player. I think it's just tough. I think it's a tough character to play. So, you know. I don't think there's much more to say on that, and I don't think we have any Mitsuru players in chat. So we will keep going. Here's s.Junpei. Again, a character I think that is quite strong in a lot of aspects. We've seen Sebalis, I think, plays s.Junpei. On Blissey play normal. We've had, I think, Big Pat plays s.Junpei. We've had Nezo. Nezo plays normal, actually. And yeah, just being able to guarantee victory cry makes him so much stronger. And also just uses Frenzy really well. Able to chain supers really well. Really good threats at mid and long range. Really good anti-zoning. Actually makes him pretty decent versus Yukari and Naoto. Well, maybe not Naoto because the bullets, you have to block all of them. But yeah, decent versus... Surprisingly decent versus Yukari, just because you can hit stuff back at her. But yeah, just slightly lacking in the options you see right at the top end. I mean, his options are still really good. Really good 5A. 5C is surprisingly good. Crazy damage potential with low meter. Yeah, it's true. Deathbound is absolutely insane for a rushdown character. Just having that to shut down people's full screen options. And just really hard to punish as well. and a full screen high, which is also insane. That jump B is surprisingly good. If you compare it to Labrys jump B, it's pretty much comparable in a lot of ways. It actually has more block stun than Labrys jump B. Yeah, just has a lot of good stuff, but it isn't quite as broken as some of the other characters. I think he can get run over by some of the characters we've already discussed. His DP is okay. It's sort of middle of the range. He has a super, which allows you to just ignore the fact that you have recovery and run out of it. So even if you get punished, you're not getting counter hit or full punished, which is in my mind insane. And I don't think that's even awakening either. That's just normal. Why did they give that to him? The ability to just run out of the super. That's insane. Anyway, yeah, I think character is decent, but just not as broken as some of the stuff we've seen before. And here's Narukami. Solid, yeah, I'll just basically read out what I have here. Solid all-rounder. I think he does well in a lot of ways, but I don't think he is as broken as everyone thinks he is. Like, he has a lot of great stuff, but it's not broken, in my opinion. I feel like I have a chance in neutral. I feel like a lot of his really far-reaching stuff, like his 2B and his 5B, have so much recovery that you can punish them and punish their incorrect use. And if I value results-wise, Narukami solo, good results at offline mages. Well, you say that. So we have Bonch, who's done really quite well. But I don't think Bonch has won anything big, and Bonch just kind of loses to Floods and Karmas. Like, I mean, no, I think Bonch has beat Karma a few times, but Grover, was that recent though? He's beaten both, but I don't think consistently, right? I don't think he beats him in TNS. Who won? Flood won TNS, right? I can't remember exactly who won on TNS. Karma more consistently, yeah, I think so. But I think that is a lot to do with the player, in my opinion. But I think, like, there is a reason he is in the competitive tier. But he has won a TNS, this is true. But remember, this is a list based on recent stuff and who I think you want. Like, if I think Bonch was on any other character above Narukami, I think he would do just
Italians.
as well. Thank you, Italians. Thank you, Gabrus, for the Italians. There was an Italian in chat, be warned everyone. But yes, I think Bonch on any other character might be even better, is my point. I think he doesn't do that great versus Yukari. I don't think he has the tools to deal with Yukari. I know Bonch has done it, and you know he has some tools, but I just don't think it as good as what other characters have. Like, he isn't a threat until he is on top of you. I mean, he has s.Yukarl, and he has Zio, but Zio isn't great. It doesn't really lead into anything apart from maybe a knockdown. And s.Yukarl is just a huge risk. So, like, I think he is notable, but I don't think he is on the level of the real top tiers. I don't think he can steal games from you. I think you have to make more mistakes against the Narukami to lose. s.Yukarl is kind of insane as well, but... And yeah, with meter, he is absolutely insane, but I think too many things have to go right for him to be amazing. For him to be higher than where he is. I still think he is great. I still think this is... He does have good meter done, this is true. Stagger is good. Stagger is good. I mean... Neutral tools are okay. I wouldn't say he has great neutral tools. I think he has good neutral tools. I don't think his 5C is as broken as some of the 5Cs we've discussed before. His 5B is fine. It doesn't lead into incredible amounts of things unless the opponent's in the corner. The jump 2B is fine. Consistent safe jumps off of every knockdown. I mean, yeah, but I feel like a lot of characters that we've discussed already have that. Most characters have a safe jump off of most things. And like, he doesn't have Like his command grab is slow. Like his tools aren't broken in my opinion. Like air turn jump C is fine, but what's he gonna do off of it? He's just gonna hit you once. I mean, yeah, like having a safe jump is fine, but I don't think the looping Oki is as big of a threat. 2D? I mean, he has technically a 2D. I mean, yeah, maybe the safe jump's fine, but I just don't think it's as scary. Like, I would rather face Narukami Oki versus, for example, Rise Oki. Or, like, well, Yukari doesn't really matter. She just retreats back into neutral where she beats you anyway. Like, I'm not quite as scared, but, you know. Comparing to characters I put higher, but I mean, they were put highest for other reasons, right? Like if you look at this diagram up here, through Mr. Chat, he does have better pressure than Junpei. I mean, I imagine, yes, he does have better pressure than Junpei, but the issue is everything else. I think he's fine. I just don't think he converts and is quite as scary. And like, think about Shadow Junpei. Shadow Junpei can beat you off a completely unreactable high-low from the air dive, right? You can't tell if that's going to hit high or low when you tech. Junpei, yeah, in my opinion, Junpei is harder to fight, and especially a Shadow Junpei. They can kill you off of more stuff. Shadow Junpei has to spend a burst round 1? No, he doesn't. I mean, you can, but it's perfectly valid to not. It still takes 2 to 3 hits. To get victory cry. You don't have to spend it. If things are going well, you definitely don't have to spend it. In my opinion. Gets a character with worse neutral tool. Maybe. Like, there is a reason he is here. In my opinion. Like, I'm not saying he is bad. Not by far, I am not saying he is bad. I'm just saying I think he has to do too much. It is rare for a character to have nothing far range and be good, because his presence basically doesn't exist until he is like within 5C range of you. Like if you leave him alone at full screen, what's he gonna do? Zeo you? Like, that's not scary. I don't care if a Zeo is coming at me. I'm just gonna block it, and he's gonna gain maybe a bit of ground on me. D-Zeo, isn't that just a mix tool? Oh no, is that the fast one? I can't remember. You're gonna have to remind me. Faster, yeah. Oh yeah, SB-Zeo is the one close range, isn't it? Yeah, I mean, it's decent, but you get punished if your opponent gets around it, right? Jump D is decent. It's a decent air delay, it's true. And his jump 2A is fine as well. Like, it's okay, but none of these tools are amazing in my eyes. They're all fine. Like, he has access to everything, but I think it's sort of a jack of all trades type deal. The one exception maybe being like SB Airline, where he can confirm off of that, which is a pretty much a true double overhead, which is really hard to block, where he gets full confirm. But other than that, I'm not sure. Like, I don't know if any of you saw my 3.0 patch notes, but I don't think he needed enough, for good reason. I don't think there's anything he has where I'm like, this is broken, he needs enough. But has a real convertible high-lows off a safe jump? Yeah, true. Has no P1? That's why it does so much damage. But yeah, I mean that's kind of the point. Like, every other character before now, I think needs a nerf in some area, but I don't think Narukami does. I think he's fine. Yeah. Good neutral tools, amazing meter dump. Yeah. But I mean, I feel like everyone else we've talked about before has similar. So like when we have our Yosuke's, the meter dump is 25 SP and it's done 3 poison. But yeah, strong character. I just don't think quite has it at the top end. But yeah, that's my thoughts on Narukami. And Here's where I get murdered. You know that meme with the cat with the knife, with everyone like pointing knives at it? Here's Kanji. Here is Kanji. He's a grappler, but he doesn't have any of the grappler weaknesses. He doesn't lose to zoners. He in fact does very well against zoners. He has great defense. Most of the cast has to come to him. It is absolutely insane that the zoner, well, he is a better zoner than most of the cast. He has really good RPS and very strong confirms. He has decent frame data, and his conversions off of a lot of the hits that he's going for. It's actually insane. I mean, yeah, he does have some pretty disadvantaged matchups, but yeah, it's just strong. Oh, hey Vanguard, good to see you. You don't think he's bottom tier or anything, but he's comfortably low tier? I mean, it's an interesting take, and the reason he is still in competitive tier, I mean, you are one of the reasons he is still in competitive tier, Vanguard. I'm very impressed with what you do with him. But the reason is, like, when you are fighting a Kanji, there are no safe things that you can do, even when you are attacking him. Like, jumping away is not safe because you have an anti-air grab that you cannot beat, by the way. There is no way to hit the persona as it comes out. You have to bait it out and then hit an incredibly small window. It's just really hard to punish this character for doing anything. And some of the best Oki in the game with the 5D, or 2D or whatever it needs to be. I think, yeah, maybe slightly less than consistent. I mean, but when I say that, like, we've had Vanguard win PFCs. The character can do it. I mean, it wasn't with the biggest threats we've ever seen in a PSN tournament, but there were some good players there. And I don't think it was a coincidence. And I don't think it was a coincidence that the Kanjis beat the Yosuke. I'm going to keep bringing this up. In the crew battle. I don't think, like, we had Greek playing there. And he lost. And I don't think the Yosuke's were playing all that bad like people say. I think this character is strong. I mean, Vanguard is really good, this is true. But I don't think he's being held back by the character either. And Panjit mentioned no mid-range, but this 5C is decent. I mean, it's not incredibly fast, but it's faster than a lot of characters can deal damage at that range. It has some decent punches as well. And what's the name of this move again? Charge. We're just gonna call it charge for now. It's the piercing move. Why can't I remember it? Primal Force. Primal Force is absolutely insane. It covers every range pretty much, depending on which one you do. I suppose A doesn't cover the long range. I mean, the middles, like I said, I think it covers the middle zone where he struggles. And you say he struggles, but what are you going to do in that range? You just have to run at him. Like, you have to come at him, because if you don't, you're going to have to now face down either one of these two moves. But, like, you are still forced to come to him, so you say he doesn't have a mid-range, but they're going to come to you anyway. They have to hit you. I mean, some characters don't. And yeah, he's going to struggle against your Margarets and your Lizzers and your Yukaris. But maybe not even Yukari. Like, if we look at results, we saw Fun lose to where? Where on Kanji? And Fun is a good player. Like, I don't think that was big player diff. Like, maybe a slight, but not enough to justify what happened. Like, it is absolutely insane. And having a lot of health also really helps. And yeah, lots of new tech as well. I think Vanguard's done some great jobs in terms of that. Like, there's some almost true resets that you have to do some really weird stuff to beat. And that you pretty much can't tell are happening until it happens. Yeah, I think he's strong. Yeah, he doesn't really need good movement because the persona does the movement for him. This jump B is absolutely insane. It's a bigger disjoint. I'm very careful with my words these days. Bigger disjoint than Labrys is. Obviously, he doesn't have the air movement to make it quite as big over time, but it is still absolutely insane. And has more block stun than Labrys is. This anti-air is absurd. This DP is amazing. It beats most safe jumps. You have to have Persona safe jump, and not everyone has that. Primal's just insane. Puts pressure on you just by being on the screen. I mean, yeah, you have to move towards him. This lightning is just such a big threat. Alright, I'll read out Vanguard's comment. My thought on him is that he's good at calling out a lot of options, but he has to be very right about it. Like on defense, it's hard to cover up DP and D-grab and chain super at once, and chair super at once. Recovering 2 isn't that hard? I mean, you say that, I'm not sure. Because you have to cover DP, D-grab, chair super, anti-air grab, and it's just so hard to do that and keep your turn at the same time. His RPS, while good, suffers from its linearity. I mean, is it linear? Like, his frame data is good. Like, his 5B, you can make it a charge 5B. His 5A is okay. In terms of frame data, it's pretty decent. If you want to reset the pressure, there's quite a few ways of doing it. His frame data on a lot of stuff, like for example the flying shiplord, it basically doesn't have recovery. It has the same recovery as Ku if you whiff it. So it's quite hard to punish. High risk, mid rewards, because he's so... I mean, yeah, having the health also means that being wrong once or twice doesn't mean that you die. I mean, yeah, I think KG's making a few good points here that mirror mine. I mean, we're both Labrys players, so maybe we feel it more, but it is hard to consistently get an advantage over him. I think there are some characters who can do it, and that keeps him, holds him back, but I don't think it's terrible. And I think we've seen some good results to show that he can beat, without too much of a skill difference, can beat some of the top players. In fact, Vanguard, I do look... Is Minazuki taking part in the tournament this evening? Because if he is, I am really excited to see you play him. If you are playing as well, I do hope so. I haven't had a look at who's playing at the moment, but yeah, it would be that is something that I would like to see. You lost your water bottle? Thanks for telling us. I'm gonna have some water as well. I'm gonna check my Discord notifications as well. Oh, it's just Loy sending me pictures, nice. But yeah, I think there is a reason he does well, and I don't think it's player def. I think he is competitive. I don't doubt that he has some struggle matchups, but I don't think they are that awful. It's just Primal Force does such a good job of beating the classic weaknesses and just covering so much of the screen. I don't think he's weak. So yeah, there he goes. And there we go. Apologies for the wait. Here is the full list. It is Adachi behind chat there. But yeah, that is the full tier. Be interested to hear if anyone thinks that someone shouldn't be in this tier or is completely in the wrong position. Obviously, Vanguard disagrees with the kanji here. And maybe some people probably think Narukami should move, but I just don't see the justification. No. Nice. Thanks, Gabris. Oh, you just don't want to hear the Labrys takes. I see. Understandable. All right. Well, that is the tier. I don't think there's much more to be said in terms of characters that maybe should move up a tier. Obviously, some people think maybe s.Aigis. Some people think s.Mits. But other than that, I don't think anyone really disagrees. In terms of people who should move down, obviously lots of people think Kanji, but I disagree. Yeah, I think that's it in terms of the big takes. So we move on into the strong but outclassed tier. Slowly getting smaller and smaller as people prove that characters are actually competitive. But I'm glad to see it. I think I always love to see people do new things. So yeah, here is normal Junpei. Hasn't moved. Not as reliable. Access to Victory Cry. Still only takes 2 to 3 hits. I don't think he needs to take his burst. And if he wants to, he can definitely spend one more burst to get similar number of hits. Does need to get the 50 meter first though, I suppose. And I don't think I would burst back if he did. But yeah, just solid in a lot of areas. Just slightly less in terms of damage and consistent supers. I don't know why you would play this over Shadow if you really want to win. But I still think does decently. I do not know. There's not much more to say. Is the Awakening super that good? It's not the Awakening super, it's being able to chain multiple supers at once. I think Junpei can chain like 3 supers at the end of a frenzy. I mean, normal can as well, but you have to have that meter available already. And I mean, as a reversal, yes, his Awakening super does ridiculous amounts of damage if you get the clean hit. This is true actually, especially on normal. It does like 4k. I don't know why they left that on him. Normal Junpei is pretty scary. This is true. But yeah, I just think not quite as scary as Shadow. Is more burstable. Yeah, that's all I really have to say. Pretty much the same as Shadow, just not quite as scary. And here's Shadow Narukami. Yeah, just less consistent. Doesn't make up for what he loses. I don't think there's quite enough frenzy nonsense or like mix. Like, it is kind of funny when he drops the combo and continues his frenzy combo, he still like triple overheads you. Where's auto combo? It is a really good point. Doesn't combo quite as well. So yeah, probably just slightly worse. Not much more to say. I think that we do have 1 or 2 Shadow Narukamis, but there aren't many of them. But is he more or less stylish? I think less. I think if you've seen the one more burst combos that Bonch does, like those are really stylish. And the Shadow Frenzy combo is just kind of throw everything. So I think normal is more stylish. If there's 10 seconds left, you can influence block stun you to the timer. Does Frenzy? I thought Frenzy pauses the timer, or is that Blaze Blue? Well, that happens. That's a Blaze Blue thing. Ah, fair enough. In which case, yeah, I guess you could, but I feel like probably there's a few characters who can do that. But, you know, I mean, Yukari can just do that by infinite doing the super, right? You're right. That's why not the special. The AR is special, but she can do everything. So maybe that's not a good comparison. But yeah, that's all I really have to say. I don't think this is an interesting one to discuss, so we will move on. Here's Rise. Welcome, KG, to Rise. I don't think I've seen much evidence to change. So Joel2, if you're still here, welcome. This is your character. We haven't seen huge results, but I do see potential. I do see potential of the character. The set play is crazily good. I think there might even be something wrong where you can't gold burst her note setup for some reason. At least I've tried to and like super and gold burst it. Maybe it's frame perfect and I'm just bad, but that's it. It just feels like you can't. It is so active. But I just think, yeah, I think she takes too long to kill and doesn't have the tools that some of the other characters have in neutral. And yeah, the biggest threats as well do really well against her. I think she does quite badly versus Yukari, and that's a problem. That is a very big problem. Hey JLTO, good to see you again. Yes, we are in Rise, and I think, yeah, the character has a lot of potential. I just don't see her ever being consistent in a meta with Yukari, unfortunately. There are a couple of active players, like we have J-Turns, we have Jolteo, and both very good, but I don't see the tournament potential. There's just too many threats that can cause issues. I mean, get yourself unbanned, KG, and we will see you in the tournament, but I don't see that happening anytime soon. But, you know, it happens. Yeah, lots of really good tools. Like this jump B is actually really insane. It's really active. It cancels back into jump A for some reason for a double overhead pretty much whenever you want it. Really active, really good for getting stuff started. This jump C is a really nice air delay and covers a lot of range. The 5D, if you leave her alone for 1 second, will beat a lot of projectiles. Main issues, sorry, reading the comments. Main issues are conversions and widely applicable damage to capitalize off of neutral scrambles. Yeah, I think it's a good point. A lot of characters will spend a lot of time in the air, and I think Rise can have trouble converting off of big stuff really far off into the sky. It can happen. Like, she has the jump 2B, which I believe takes you from the air into the ground, but you need the right type of hit for that to work. But yeah, I think you're right. That there's a reason I put her conversion quite low down here. I think her Oki and pressure is amazing, but jump 2B is so dumb. Yeah, for some reason it just sort of whiffs sometimes as well. But yeah, I think she has some nice tools, but I just don't think she's it. I don't think she is a character you want to be playing if you really want to take tournaments, especially, yeah, with the Yukaris out there. It's just too scary. She has some really strong stuff though, like these orbs, and the cancel off of DP is great, but the DP isn't amazing. She has some nice buttons, and it's just, I think she has a 6 frame 5A, which isn't too bad. A 2B being low is nice in terms of catching people trying to jump out. Alright. Okay, well, I mean, that's all I really have to say, unless you have anything else to add, Joltio. But yeah, there's a reason she's in the strong battle class tier. I think she has some potential, but yeah, in terms of zoners, there are better options available. In terms of rushdown, obviously she's not really rushdown, even though she has some decent close tools. So for some reason, Iriya still wants their water bottle. 2B and jump B make the character, but she needs ways to use her big punishes in neutral and pressure. Yeah, I think so. I think that's it. I think the way she punishes is putting you into a blender, but her blender isn't quite as scary as, for example, s.Aigis. And yeah, her 2B is decent. Her jump B is very good. And yeah, like I said, the scans, if you manage to get it hit, or if you get it off, you pretty much win neutral, but what do you get from that, is the question. And yeah, in terms of mix, apart from very basic staggers, she doesn't have much in the way of highs, apart from leaving the ground and then attempting to sideswap using universal tools, pretty much. So yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, just to relax those big punishes in neutral for calling out someone. I mean, the one thing she has is Platinum Disc, and the punish for Platinum Disc hitting one counter hit is pretty insane, as KG demonstrated. But yeah, it's just not quite that consistent, and a lot of the characters won't come into that range for you. Not everyone has to come up to you that close to hit you. So I think the character can struggle in that sense as well. But yeah, that's my 2 cents on Rise, and I don't think my opinion of her has changed since last year. Hence, C-Disc full screen 4K, yeah, pretty much. Mid-range is definitely a weakness point. Yeah, I think that's a good point as well. She doesn't really have a dedicated mid-range button. It is pretty much instant air dash jump B like Labrys, which is an interesting point. And sort of like Platinum Disc, maybe D-Disc. And just sort of retreating back into full range and setting up stuff. But yeah, it's really good. It's a good point. I think she is missing that as well. Note lingers and misses people up. Yeah, I mean, yeah, if you can get notes out as well. Yeah, don't touch me is a decent button in neutral. It's quite hard to punish, but again, it's not amazing. She beats Kanji. Yeah, I'd imagine it. Anything that can hit through or break Primal Force. Yeah, those are my thoughts. I don't think I have much more to say. Yeah, creds a good set play if she can get going. It is absurd, but you know, takes a bit. Is s.Kanji? I don't think you want to be playing s.Kanji, just because Awakening is so good for him. It's very hard for people to beat your Awakening on normal, and just while he can get some stuff off of Primal Force and off of Frenzy, it's just, why would you bother when the normal version does so much? And one more burst as well is insane on some of the supers. So again, I don't know why. Always having command grab super available is good mental damage, but it does less damage on Shadow. I don't know why you'd play this character, pretty much. But yeah, that Shadow Kanji, I don't think there's much. Do we even really have... I know we have a PSN, I think Cyber plays Shadow Kanji. I can't remember if we have any other ones. And they were pretty strong. I had some trouble beating them at first, but yeah, that's s.Kanji. And that's it in the strong but outclassed tier. Not much more to say really. Rise probably is the most contentious one in there for me. I think she has the potential to go up one, but I need to see it work first. And I haven't seen it yet. And I do say yet because I think it's possible. But yeah, the jury is out. I'm going to drink some more water because my throat is killing me. Normally cocaine will struggle. You feel it? I wonder if that feeling's right. Joltier, it's up to you apparently. It's not me that hates you, KG. It's not me. Anyway, can be made to work tier. So again, these are characters which I think, you know, they can do the job, but you're gonna have to do the work. First one being Sho. I think he has a lot of cool stuff. I think he has some mix potential. I don't know why you're asking me where your water bottle is. It's not here. But yeah, he has a lot of good tools. But I don't think there's anything hugely impressive. He does have to approach you. I mean, he has knives, but they don't help the most in terms of doing stuff. A lot of other characters can do stuff on reaction to knives, at least a slow knife. And the fast knife just sort of hits stuff. He does have to spend resources to take risks to get kills. I mean, he has the instant overheads, but that takes 25 meter. He does have some really cool stuff. He looks really cool. He looks very fun to fight, and he is very fun to fight. But he just sort of dies too quickly. The low health is not healthy. You just sort of, you keel over and die if someone touches you. I mean, it's 8.5k, but it's not enough for someone who doesn't have that much presence. The fact that you can't get Persona broken is nice, I suppose. It means you always have your burst, but and 5D is weirdly good. So I believe it is frame 1 invuln that you can activate on frame 1 of waking up. So technically he has something very similar to Ogiya Backdash. And you can activate your counter hit even if it hits nothing. So he has like an almost better Ogiya Backdash always available. But it doesn't have projectile invuln. So if someone's hitting you projectiles, it will still hit you. It doesn't have throw invuln. So you can still be thrown. But yeah, and also a lot of characters 5As, I believe they can just continue mashing it, or they will mash 2A and you will still get hit. So it has some counterplay to it. Yeah, I appreciate it. It's quite similar. I've played Valerius a lot, Irias, so I am aware of what can be done. I'm just saying, yeah, it's a really good tool and it's really interesting, and I would like to see it more in a lot of people's wake up options. I think Valerius does a good job of that actually, but yeah, it's interesting. He has some solid stuff, and this jump B as well. It's kind of hard to confirm off of at times, but it is a really good disjoint. And it has 2 hits, so it's kind of hard to deal with it. Can't really whiff punish it because there's a second hit coming. And yeah, lots of interesting supers that cover lots of ranges, but I think just has to take too much risk to do what he needs to do, and which means not really that broken, but he can do the job. And I don't, like when I was playing Thun's Sho, like Thun was taking games from me from time to time. Like it can happen, and I think a really good pilot of the character can go far, but I think it is very much reliant on the pilot rather than the character. In fact, it Kara cancels and lets him do Kara Gold Burst. That's interesting. I was not aware of that one. That is a good point. I suppose it means you can guarantee a goal, and technically you can guarantee a goal burst anyway just by being good. Like, it's an interesting point, but in theory it's not necessary. But yeah, it's definitely an interesting point. I suppose it allows you to use the frame buffer to gold burst, which is nice, but not really helpful in a way. Oh, you did tell me. You are right. You are right. Can do 5D Kara into 214A to beat safe jumps. Interesting. Interesting. I mean, I guess it depends on how the safe jump works and how fast all your buttons are. Like, 214A has more than 7 frames of startup, right? So if someone safe jumps you into 5A, you're still gonna get hit. You know. You only do the Kara gold burst against true meaty setups. I mean, you can gold burst true meaty setups, you know. It is still possible. But yeah, it's what it is. What it is. Character is fine. But it's basically what I'm saying. Has some cool stuff, but I don't think you really want to be playing this over, for example, Minazuki, if you have the choice. Just because Minazuki just does so much more at so many more ranges. But yeah, that's the character. No change since last year. Here's normal Chie. So Mr. Dead Dog sadly has not moved this character. I think this character is decent, but again, just has to hit you too many times for what she has. Is the long and short of this. Solid results, like I said, from Dead Dog and everyone else. I believe Dead Dog is currently the bracket demon of Caster. My boy Caster. But there's clips from Bonch and show. Interesting. I've not seen Bonch's show. But yeah, I think Chie as a character, without the threat of shadow, it's just, I don't know why you do this to yourself effectively. Yeah, it's a character who can surprise you. Having power charge outside of Awakening is good. Yeah, I think the character can go far, but it is, again, very reliant on you outplaying your opponent in a lot of matchups. Chie, best skull in Persona 4 Golden? That's a bold statement to make, friend. She has amazing meter gain, optimized, and has power charge outside of Awakening. Yeah, I think the character is solid. Can do some stuff. And if you're playing a character who can't answer the fake 5D and jump D stuff, you might be in trouble, but a lot of characters can answer that sort of thing. Yeah, I mean, we're not going to start the debate of best skull in chat. I'm afraid that is too dangerous. But and you know, the answer is obviously Rise. But I mean, why would you turn down an idol? You'd have to be insane. It's clearly Rise. Like, what is wrong with you? You have an idol simping for you. Like, what? How can you say anything else? You hate idols? I mean, Rita, you know, is genuine at the very least. Anyway, we need to stop debating this, but I appreciate if you appreciate Chie. And Panjit, you now have to weigh in on this. Who was the best skull in Persona 4 Golden? You cannot have an opinion. You cannot hate everyone else and then not tell us what the correct answer is. Clearly, this is the character for discussing waifus in Persona 4 Golden. We're scared of what the best god debate can do. I am actually, because this could take us another 2 hours and then we'll miss the tournament. This is too late for Chie? Maybe. Like I said, I'm not entirely sure how far this character can go. It's very, very reliant on your movement, and she doesn't have the best movement. So, I mean, it's decent. She runs quite fast, and the 5C is fast. But, you feel like Chie is better than Kanji? No, not in the slightest, in my opinion. Her movement is good. It's good, but it's not special. Like, Yosuke is special, Yukari is special, Marie is special. That's just fine. She's good in 3 frames of rollback, yeah, maybe. And buttons, I agree, they're not amazing. I think the 5C is pretty good. I think the jump C is pretty good. But yeah, it's just, and obviously her stagger is some of the best in the game. But the problem is the stagger doesn't lead to incredible results. It just leads into pretty decent Oki. I mean, yeah, it's alright, but I don't think it's enough. I don't think it's enough to justify anything higher than this. 5D Oki is really good. It's fine. From what I understand, most of it is not genuine. And for the most part, all it really does is lock you in a free high-low, which is good, mind you. Power charge is amazing. It is good. The damage takes a while to come out, but it is good. I do wonder. Like, I am excited to see how far Dead Dog takes the character, and any other Chie players that we have. Look, we have Ibazol and other couple new fledgling Chies, but potentially the best pressure. Nah, I don't know about that, friend. Like, pressure is scary because of what comes after it, but her pressure is mostly 5As and 2As and throws, right? Like, maybe you get a jump C as a throw bait. But, I mean, what happens when it hits you? Even if she instantly cancels into power charge, which is actually quite hard to do for her, by the way. I don't know how much damage that then comes out to from a 5A or a 2A hit. I don't think it's as scary as, for example, on the Shadow. Like, it takes too much. Or reverses the world starting. I don't think everyone here disagrees with me, but I don't think she is that scary. Like, if you're ever facing, do you ever in tournament go, oh no, I am facing a Chie? You're like, oh, I'm terrified. No, I don't think that happens. Maybe if you're facing Dead Dog, but even then, yeah, maybe. I don't see any reason to put it higher than where she is. Unless you're caster. Yeah, if you're caster, you're terrified, but optimized Chie is absolutely hurting you. I mean, optimized everyone in this game is hurting you. The question is, how reasonable is it to be that optimized? Is it possible to get those 2A hits into instant power charge, into the next best move? I don't know how possible that is. And also, like, stagger is great, but this is a game with one button DPs. Like, stagger is still fundamentally at risk. So, I don't know. Maybe, but I want to see it first, is all I'm saying. I have not seen it. I do not know if it is possible. I mean, it is technically possible, but is it humanly possible is the question. It's not into power charge, into Oki, into crazy damage. Yeah, maybe. Maybe that is the thing. I mean, yeah, black spot is... The black spot fatal is broken. that is true. That is true. But it's also not that great relative to what other characters have in neutral. Unless it's SB black spot. But yeah, I don't see it yet. I think there is a reason people use the shadow to do the confirms. Like, I think, like I said, there's a reason this is can be made to work here. I'm not doubting it's possible. I'm saying it requires so much that why are you playing this character? Pretty much. There are other better options for you in terms of the cast. Itoshi is a stronger Chie, and even when you play them, you don't feel that she's higher than anyone higher on the list. I mean, that's a fair statement. Yeah, like, the thing is, like, relying on Oki but not having massively broken stuff off of that Oki, in my opinion, is the issue. Like, say Oki into crazy damage, the Oki, the best that she gets from the Oki is the high-low, right? It's either going to be a Junpei hit or a 2A hit. The Junpei, yes, I think does lead into pretty incredible damage. The 2A, I'm not entirely sure she can salvage without a one more burst. She does have the double high-low as well. She has the stuff with SB Skullcracker, I think. She have got hands. Yeah, this is true. But yes, Chie, I don't think she deserves to be higher than this until I see it. Maybe it's possible, and maybe the next time I get put into the blender by Dead Dog, I will rethink this. But until then, yeah, she can combo into AOA. That is pretty strong in general. I think you have to be pretty good with the D ender for it to work. But yes, both her and Mitsuru have that. The restand, which is nice, and restands are always strong. I do wonder if she can do more with the restand actually. Maybe she has some throw baits or like throws and with the freeze restand that can do some stuff, and I do wonder if that's yet to be explored. But we'll see, we'll see. I think that's enough about Chie. Here's Mr. Teddie. Teddie with the one of the strongest players in the community on him. A lot of history of the character. I don't think much notable has happened since last year. I mean, I'm not sure what happened. Did Joey lose to Flood in the tournaments this year? I can't remember. I mean, he lost in the Kumite, right? But yeah, just very hard character to play, but I think very strong if he's allowed to go off in neutral. And allowed to press his D buttons, but he's just not allowed to press his D buttons versus the strongest character. He does have SBDV, which is nice, but you know, but yeah, just sort of struggles versus some of the top threats in my opinion. So, like I said, can be made to work, but I just I mean, I will freely admit, while the first set I had with Joey, I did go very slightly positive. The second set I got demolished. So it definitely beat me, but I feel that with the Joey factor rather than everything else. But yeah, just has a lot of cool stuff, but quite low. Yeah, I think I agree with Joey's assessment that he's lacking in a lot of stuff that a lot of other characters have. I think he slightly downplays the character, but not by much. I think he really does struggle versus the threats that he needs to do well against. So, you know, it just requires so much to do well on. He has the better elements available. He does, although I think the setup to actually land them, it's pretty tricky. Like, he has some unblockable setups. He has some ways of guaranteeing, like, fear, poison, rage, but they are not consistent. And you want consistency on a character going into a tournament, especially in Persona where things happen so quickly. Like, 2 matches is like, can be a total of 60 seconds and it's over. So you need it to happen quickly. You need it to be consistent. And I don't think Teddie quite has it. His frame data isn't amazing. It's okay. He has some interesting cancels. He has a 6 framer 2A. Barrel is one of the best things in the game. Yes, it is extremely strong in terms of screen presence. It's like a better present, pretty much. Better chocolate. But yeah, it's just because it's not always available to him. It just holds him back, in my opinion. So no. Yeah, that's why he's here. And yeah, kudos for Joey for taking him so far, but just doesn't quite have it yet. If Barrel was a playable character, yeah, I mean, the characters we need in this game are clearly Koromaru and Barrel. Those would be untouchable. Just roll around as a Barrel all day. Maybe that would be like a broken super for Yosuke where he just goes into a barrel and rolls around. Spike, yeah, maybe. Here is Yukiko and Magi, Miss Amagi herself. Yeah, she causes lots of paper cuts, and then you go in and kill her and she dies because you don't die of paper cuts. Pretty much. Again, I don't know why you do this over Shadow. She has some stuff in Awakening that she can do. Like I said, Maragidine is amazing, but it's hard to get her there consistently. Yeah, I don't know why you do this, just because the hits that she tends to get, how easy it is to persona break her on some characters, the amounts that she struggles versus the top tiers without being able to kill them in one hit, it's just too much in my opinion. She just doesn't really seem to have much of anything. Yeah. Yeah, so yeah, sadly, Diego, she is not in the will struggle tier, but she is very low in the can be made to work tier. I've seen some people do decently, but yeah, I don't think she's a great character. I think she is quite low. I don't really have much more to say. I don't think we've had any notable results from normal Yukiko either, so we keep going. Here's Shadow Rise. I just don't think she uses Friendly. My brother, I am smoking. Maybe. Yeah, Shadow Rise, I don't think she uses Frenzy well. And basically, when you don't use Friendly well, the Shadow is weaker than normal. Maybe there's some gimmicks. Maybe she can steal some rounds, but I don't know why you'd choose to do that ever. Just play normal. Normal will oak you to death. She's good. Maybe. I don't think so, friend. But yes, welcome, Ravius. Most people disagree with my takes, but you are free to give your arguments in the chat, and I will respond to them to the best of my ability. And if you want to write paragraphs and paragraphs, you're free to do so in the VoD that will go up for this after the fact. But yeah, I don't really have much more to say about Shadow Rise, really. What does she even get in terms of Awakening? Her Awakening Soup is just DDR, right? Doing 5k for full bar and Frenzy is not great comparatively. Also needs that good hit. Yeah, exactly. It's just too much for too little, in my opinion. Like, that's the bare minimum is 5k for a Frenzy, in my opinion. I just don't think it's there. I am curious about her OMB ability. I mean, I've seen some from KG as well. Like, I think she actually has some decent OMB stuff, but would like to see more of that in tournament. But yeah, I just don't think it's it in terms of Frenzy. 4k for like 35 meter off start of 5A is good, believe it. No, it isn't. It isn't. That's just normal. For 35 and Frenzy, right? But OMB does great damage in corner upwards of 7k. Wow. I'd like to see it. Yeah, OMB seems to be really good, which is why I don't know why you'd play Shadow over normal, pretty much. That's all I have to say. I think, yeah, this is a gimmick character. You don't play this character unless you're fishing for something which isn't winning. So, sadly, it goes here. The Jolteon gap is insane. Yeah, Jolteon is a great player. And yeah, they do well. Here is Shadow Teddie. For some reason, the text is the wrong character, just because I have no idea. What is this? Someone please tell me. I don't think we have any results. I don't think we have anyone really experimenting that much with this character anymore. I don't think we need to waste time on Shadow Teddie, sadly. Wait till I see the real gap 10 meter 2A DDR combos. Okay, okay. His auto combo is easier? Is it? I mean, the normal Teddie 5A auto combo is pretty interesting, right? It does you can do some weird stuff, but yeah, maybe. Oh yeah, Moxan does play Shadow, I guess, but yeah, this character, I don't know. You can 5A A2B? Interesting. Yeah, I guess maybe some slightly better cancels, but just inability to really... I mean, like, his Awakening Supers aren't great. I don't know about his Frenzy combos. Yeah, so maybe some better cancels, but who knows? Who knows? Let's move on. I don't have anything to say. That's the end of this tier. So if you haven't seen your character already, which is probably at maximum one of you, you know who's in the will struggle tier, but that's the can be made to work tier. I don't think there's anyone too contentious here. Maybe Chie, I guess. Maybe so Chie and Yukiko. Interesting, it's those two. So again, not characters that are completely hopeless, but it is on you to really make these characters work. Am I slandering my goat? Is your goat Akihiko by any chance? But anyway, is Labrys down there? I wonder. Well, she's not anywhere here. So by the pigeonhole principle, you might figure out where she goes. But yes, this is the tier where there are some serious flaws in the character. Labrys is at the top of this tier in my opinion. Now, in terms of changes since last year, so the gain to fuzzy since last year is no longer true. That was last year. I haven't changed it yet. Force me to be positive. Yeah. Yeah, I will be positive. And you have your message in there as well. That's interesting. Everyone's making me positive. Yeah, the character is really good and really fun. And actually, I was going to say something positive. So I will start with something positive, which is I have seen her do really well. Oh, God. Why? I am being positive. It's me. I'm happy. Look at my beautiful smile. But yeah, I think the character has done pretty well, especially in the lower and mid. I've been really impressed by Caster. I've been impressed by Gabrus. I've been impressed by Azu. They've done really well picking up on the character, and if you get her going, she is really quite difficult and imposing. Yeah, just can be very scary, and there are some characters who struggle to deal with what she has. For example, you have s.Aigis, who doesn't have the anti-air. Weirdly good against Mitsuru, just because she does compete in that sort of mid-slower range in terms of poke. And yeah, just really good conversion, really good momentum. Like, it is hard to get rid of her red axe once a Labrys has it. Like, now that I have played other Labrys players, I understand what people say when they say she just always has a red axe and it never goes away. It does take some time to get rid of, and with the new SB guillotine combos, it is easy, somewhat easy to get to where you need to go. Obviously, you need to spend meter and then you're on meter cooldown. But and yeah, she does use a lot of mechanics well. She's one of the best users of OMB. If you have a burst advantage, she kills you really early from some really small hits, like even 2As. And yeah, the snowball is good. The snowball is good. But so sadly, I will have to stop being positive here, and I do appreciate everyone spending your points, forcing me to be positive. Well, I will say some more positive things. This 5A is good. It is somewhat slow, but it is really good. This jump B, I will not say it's bad. It is good. It is good. It is a jack of all trades. It covers so much. It allows you to press it without caring too much about what your opponent's doing. Unless they're waiting for you, obviously. But it is just good. And Gears is nice until your opponent realizes what their punish is. And if people aren't careful, you will just stop them from doing anything. I mean, yeah, Jump B has its weaknesses. I think it is overrated, but it is still very strong. But the frame data is absolutely abysmal. Most of what she does is punishable, -6, -7, including her 5A and 5AA stagger. It is actually punishable by most characters. No, not the numbers. The numbers, Mason. Yeah, it sort of doesn't have good mash. Fastest button is 7, which isn't the end of the world, but then she also has one of the worst DPs in the game, if not the worst DP in the game. But basically, her zoning is awful. Orb can pretty much be destroyed on reaction if you're going to do D version. The C version is actually decent. How long do we have until the PFC tournament, by the way? I don't want to run over into it, and I'm getting scarily close to it. Someone please remind me. Is it in 15 minutes or is it in 1 hour and 15 minutes? Because otherwise I'm going to have to be fast. Someone tell me. Help. Help. 15 minutes. Oh shit. Okay. Maybe we're gonna have to be fast and raid into it. But anyway, we're almost there. We're almost there. So I didn't expect myself to have to talk for 3 hours, you know? So yeah, lacks the zoning tools, doesn't really have great anti-zoning tools. Chain Knuckle is one of the worst moves to whiff in the game because if your opponent just jumps, you are now stuck and absolutely getting counter hit. Can also be rolled really easily. Yeah, it's just doesn't have great stuff. And yeah, very reliant on system mechanics in terms of mix. A lot of her moves are very slow. Unless you have 50 meter to convert stuff, at which point you're also in meter cooldown, you just can't really use anything in terms of what you have in terms of mix. Chain Knuckle. I mean, yeah, you get lots of people saying, oh, just Chain Knuckle it. Chain Knuckle's so scary, but it's just so slow. Even SB Chain Knuckle, which is an anti-projectile move, is only anti-projectile from frame 9 for some reason. Is it 7 or 9? I can't remember. It's terrible. Well, her Junpei is decent. She has a few decent things, but it's just... And the big killer, and the reason the tooling is so low over here is... You know, just has the worst matchup against Yukari. Well, one of the worst matchups. I won't say the worst, but it is pretty hopeless. You don't have any ability to move towards her. You have slow ground acceleration. You instant air dashes are just so dangerous. Yeah. Yeah, it's just so bad. Against s.Naoto as well, you're pretty much stuffed. Yeah, you just suffer. You suffer, and you basically have no chance of winning tournaments, which is what you want, right? If the meta is being played, this character is not viable. Is my opinion. Near not viable. Like the game is balanced enough that I'm going to try, but I'm not going to hold out hope. It's the point. So that's Labrys. I don't think much has changed since last year. Like I said, we've had some good results from our newer players, but I thought we played for fun. I mean, we do. That's why I still play. You 3-0'd Bonch in a bracket? You did. You did. But Bonch plays Narukami, and I think the Narukami matchup is fine. I don't think Narukami has too much for Labrys, but I mean, he has the good 2B, but I don't think you'll be able to do that every time is the point. And yeah, as soon as you run into Flood, I think you are dying. So yeah, that's it. Not much more to say. Akihiko, money is better than fun. I do like money. But yes, we are playing an old anime fighter. Well, they call it a bathroom fighter, anime bathroom fighter. We go to the bathroom and play it on a small laptop. That's our scene. Yeah, Akihiko is funny. He has some really cool conversions. We all like Akihiko players. They're all really cool guys and gals, but he has to work too hard to get his hits. He has decent mix, mind you. It can be quite hard to keep track of, but it is risky. It loses to a lot of stuff. He has an interesting low jump, but a lot of characters have good DPs that will just beat it. And he has SB Cork, but that costs SB, cost meter, and it doesn't have that big of a payoff. Yeah. Poor Akihiko. You know, it's just that one low is crazy. Yeah, I mean, only having the sweep as a low. I understand why, given that he has both a 5-frame 5A and 2A, that you don't give him a 5 frame low. But yeah, maybe it is a bit harsh on him. Maybe he should have it. I guess the issue is that he can technically side switch into it quite quickly, but I mean, he has a 5-frame, well, he has a throw, which is also side switchable. So maybe he should have it. I'm not entirely sure what they were thinking, but yeah, it's just, it's rough. It is rough. He does get meterless air throw confirms in the corner. I mean, but so does Labrys, I suppose. And I suppose that is a point on Labrys as well. She's missing a lot of stuff that a lot of the rest of the cast has. And it's kind of the same for Akihiko as well. I suppose he does have meatless throw combo, but it's not much. Yeah, it's just... he isn't good enough for how stubby his normals are. Is the too long didn't read. Big jump C, but it's incredibly slow. And punishable by a lot of characters. Todd Machine. Yeah, maybe. I don't know if he has a true Todd, but he does very high damage if you're ahead with burst and some meter. But yeah, not enough to be worth playing, in my opinion. If you want to win, if you're having fun, yeah, obviously. He seems like incredible fun to play. Here's Shadow as well. I think Shadow is scarier to play, but maybe he's less consistent. This is from playing Domo. I think being unburstable is pretty good for him, and Miziodon access is also decent. But again, you want the consistency, you want the big damage, and one more burst is just really good for him. So I think slightly worse than normal. Not much more to say here, so we move on. Here's S.Labrys. Rip S.Labrys, never forget. She loses access to stuff that she needs, and that's a problem. You need Gold Burst on Labrys. It is one of your few ways to escape from not being knocked down and get your turn back. Her damage is inconsistent. Her auto combo is bad. I mean, it's better in terms of combo ability for the most part. It just doesn't work with Frenzy. Yeah, lots of people have tried. I do not doubt them for trying. I appreciate that people tried. I tried, although probably not that hard. But you know, it's always good that people attempt things, but it just doesn't work. She is built to not work. The entire character just can't do anything. Has brutal impact combos. I mean, so does normal. The issue is landing them, and them actually being worth it. But yeah, yeah, there's just no reason to play this character, and that's it. And that is the entire list. So anyone who has survived the entire list, do you have any comments or any immediate thoughts, or oh my goodness, this is completely wrong? Because feel free to voice them now or later, or never at all, in fact. But this is it. S.Rise too low. Maybe. Prove it. Labrys is hot. Nice opinion, buddy. Nice opinion. But yeah, I mean, that's it. If everyone has any other comments, and I think everyone has come for their character and left. The data can be found in a spreadsheet. I will not click that link now because I don't think it works. But there is a spreadsheet detailing all of the characters and their orders and their previous orders and all of their ratings against each of the categories. So if you're interested in looking at that, you are more than welcome to. Those will be on the VoD. For the most part, my list positions don't vary greatly from the positions if you list them based on their total ratings against all the categories. This is just chance. I have not rated them based on that. Although interestingly, when I was looking at Adachi, I was going to put him higher, but then I saw his ratings were a little bit low. So maybe that's the one exception where I moved Adachi down for that reason. See, Valyrius says shows too high. Maybe. Maybe. I think he's fine. Everything is always subject to change. I mean, the game has slowed down a little bit, but we're still getting tournaments. We're still getting interesting new stuff happening. I'm still having fun playing it. I'm going to keep playing it until I no longer have fun. We still have cool people. We're still having people discuss it and enjoy it. So as long as that keeps going, I'm going to keep playing and keep thinking about things. Obviously, lots of people disagree with my takes, but that's perfectly fine. That's understandable. The point here isn't to be right, it's to discuss and have fun doing so. So as a reminder, be civil. If you're going to shit talk someone, don't. That doesn't help anyone. You are not helping the community. You are just being an asshole. So, you know, be civil, be kind to each other. Anyone who is promoting being unkind or doing unkind things to people, they have problems, is my take on that sort of thing. And there are people who are highly respected and have lots of power in the community who do that, and it's a shame. Does self-downplaying count? Yeah, no. But yeah, just be kind to people, right? This is all open to discussion. This is all based on personal opinion. It's never going to be true fact. You only encourage ageism. Fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah, don't think anything personally. Player skill and character skill are pretty independent in my eyes. Just because someone plays Yukari doesn't mean that they are being carried by the character. Just because someone's playing Labrys doesn't mean if they get results they're a god. Like, I am I'm decent at the game, but I appreciate that I'm not competitive right at the top level. Like, I have weaknesses as a player. I struggle with like pressure right at the top, and like I'm proud of how I did this year. I had some nice sets, but yeah, in tournament sometimes I struggle. And like, yeah, Labrys, while she's not the strongest character, she can do well. I don't think I'm like, I play Labrys because I have fun on her. It's the reason I play her. And yeah, remember to keep having fun with the game and doing your best to improve yourself. That's the point of playing. Like, that's the fun of playing the game. In my eyes, it is improving yourself and having fun. And that is the end. Those are the final notes and the final words. So unless anyone else has anything further to say, I will call it there. And maybe we hang on for a couple of minutes until the tournament starts, and then I give it a raid. But yeah, hope everyone else found that useful. And do let me know if there's anything else you would have liked to have heard, or a change in the format, or anything you think did or didn't go well. I enjoy doing these streams. I enjoy talking. This is probably the only subject I can talk for 3 hours straight on in my entire life. So yeah, I hope you all had a good time. Let's see if I open Twitch. Have they started the stream yet? No, they haven't. What about Blue Archive? We are not playing Blue Archive. The most we'll do is play Pseudo Cats. But anyway, we are gonna call it there. Blue Archive discussion? No, it is not time for Blue Archive discussion. We can have Blue Archive music as well. So what we're gonna do is do this one. Sorry, that's loud. Okay. What tournament? The PFC PSN tournament is about to start in 2 minutes. So if you would like to watch some nice Persona, in fact, we will have a quick look at who's going to be there and see if anyone interesting is going to be participating and have a guess about who's going to win. It is... who do we have? We have Joltio, we have Ryuzuzu. That's interesting. We'll see if Joltio gets some results. That'll be interesting to see. Who else do we have? Don't have that many entrants. So we have RD Vanguard and we have Ryuzuzu. Place bets on who's gonna... Wow, and we have Dead Dog actually as well. That's interesting. Sphero, Tost, all of these good people. Bets on who's gonna win. I think it will be Vanguard again. I think we're gonna see a Kanji beat a Yukari. Is my bet. Joltio. Okay, interesting. I think Joltio has a chance. I do wonder what the seed is. I think Ryuzuzu's been seeded first. I'm not entirely sure who's been seeded second, actually. I think it's Dead Dog. In fact, I can see the seeds. So it's Ryuzuzu, then Joltio, I think. In fact, if I go to the top 6, Actually, I can't go to the top 6. Yeah, I think it's gonna be those, so... Yeah, best of luck to all the participants. Looks like the Persona... They are finally streaming, so we are going to raid them. Do I know how to raid? The answer is no. But if you do raid them, and you have the follow emote, give them a labye when you get there. And yeah, I'll catch you all when I catch you all, I think. I wonder what's going to happen in the end screen, because I haven't set it up with the slides. So best of luck. We will raid them. How do I raid them? Persona Fight Club. Alright then. Goodbye everyone, catch you later. Apparently you will now raid them, all 2 of you. Catch you later everyone. Okay, you ready? All 6 people? Goodbye and see you in the other chat. See you later. Bye. Good night.